Mics are closed.
What is going on, you guys? It is Dollar Cost Crypto here with Enter into the Charlieverse. A ton of shit has happened today. BlockFi has once again sunk again somehow. I don't know how. I thought it was already gone, but apparently it now people were still depositing things into BlockFi stupidly, and deposits had not been paused. So you can't withdraw money or no, I think you can deposit, but you can't withdraw. So I guess it's the Roach Motel, basically. Today, I am joined by the Pepeverse, Charlie. What's going on, bro?
Hey, it's all good. Yeah, I got a nice new studio here. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, dude, right?
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know, should I be looking at DCC here or over here? Like, I don't know, I'm confused.
Wherever it gets to suits you, man. And today we are mic'd up by George. What's going on, bro?
Oh, what is good, people? I'm gonna get my camera set up. I forgot to set my camera up for you, but I will do it for the people.
For the people, because the people need it right now, man.
There we go.
But
yeah, no, I'm fired up for today.
Yeah, me too, man. Now, I'm very proud to announce this, that like the FTX, all the debacle that happened with the FTX, I don't think there's a single person I have not seen in any of the chats one single person lost any money
Yeah.
with the FTX debacle or even BlockFi.
Right.
That just happened.
Well, first of all, I think BlockFi, we were like, what, Nexo and BlockFi, we were like, well, they're probably not going to make it.
Right,
You know, for the longest time, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was a time and place, right, where it was like Celsius, Nexo, BlockFi, and Voyager. That was kind of the four-way race, right? And I mean, obviously, we were on the Celsius team in terms of like which coin that we liked in terms of a token to like try to make money on.
Yeah, made good money on it.
Yeah, we made some good money on it, and a lot of people made money on it. But then after a while, we're like, oh no, we're starting to see smoke here. Ton of exit stage left.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and it was smoldering for a good chunk of time after the iHeartRadio announcement and all that bullshit.
Oh my god. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. So big announcement you got. It was So there was supposed to be this huge announcement for Celsius back in the day, right? And the real announcement was that BlackRock was going to make an investment into Celsius, right? And they backed out last minute. And then they're like, oh, no, they scrambled and put like, yo, and we're sponsored by iHeartRadio. I was like, oh, amazing, you guys.
And there was internet connection shit happening with Zach and everybody over there who's trying to connect everything on the whatever, on the whatever stream it was on at the time. I think it was Miami Bitcoin conference.
Oh, right. Yeah, they were trying to do a live thing. It was all choppy and stuff and didn't work.
Well, it was like the worst internet connection you could possibly ever think of. And it was just like, and then it was like within all, it's like kind of like, back in the day where you're trying to watch like WWF things on like pay-per-view, but it's all like scrambled on the TV and shit. It's like that. And then it's like, okay, try to listen for this amazing announcement from Celsius.
Right.
iHeartRadio. What the hell is going on? So, after that, there was starting to be smoke, and then there was fire with Mashinsky and all that. So, over time, it's just like, I think by November of last year, we're like just GTFO on Celsius. But, all the lending platforms, I mean, it makes sense. This is the first time around in crypto that we've had lending properly.
Right.
Right. With all the Ponzi schemes, I was surprised there weren't more.
I mean, we had there was a lot and stuff. I mean, but we also got to remember this, right? This is the red pill of finance right here. This is DCC and Charlie here, right? DCC and CC, right? I mean, if you really think about everything, like everything's a Ponzi. Right. Now, there's actual real businesses that actually do make money and everything like that. But if you lose demand or confidence from the investors or the people that are in your project or in business, you go to zero.
Right.
So there is this whole game of like of posturing about making sure that you seem strong and everything like that, but. It is a sort of thing where, like, if you lose all demand, your business goes to zero, or it's worthless. Yeah,
or if you, as the memes have been saying, if you fuck around enough, you'll find out.
See, I mean, Sam Beckman fucked around and he found out.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
I mean, all the leverage, bro. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous. It goes back to basic principles of what we teach in the crypto mindset course, which is, just keep it simple. Do some swing trades or do some... yielding or whatever it is that's going to get you that extra money. But, as Warren Buffett said in your intro, don't day trade.
Don't day trade. Didn't you have $88 billion? I don't want to talk about that anymore. But no. But it's the market's been really crazy. I am really happy to report that like the crypto mindset and like we've really, especially for the last 3 courses. I mean, we've always been about like not your keys, not your coins, have your money in your own wallet. But at the time, at the beginning of the market, you actually could yield in some of these protocols, and it was relatively safe. And then at some point, we were like, oh no, this is starting to get overheated now, and we like. Ixnade as not just a company, but as like just people on YouTube telling people like, hey, get all your shit off of these exchanges. I mean, the exchange part we'd always said, but get it off of Celsius, get it off of all these platforms. The yield's really not worth it. It's like you're risking your coins for 5%.
Yeah.
Right. And luckily our guys came out pretty unscathed at all. I mean, and with this recent drop, I mean, like everyone's safe.
Yeah, and well, for now.
For now.
But it's one of these things where it's like the next hurdle in this crypto, what do you call it?
I guess CeFi collapse really is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the unlevering and like the curtain being pulled on all of kind of like centralized finance.
Yeah, it's not going to just... Well, I guess you could probably pull this out to the stable coins as well because they are...
Yeah, companies.
Yeah, exactly. They're still pretty centralized. So, I mean, with the stable coins, we got BUSD, we got USDD, which is what's his name, Justin Sun's.
Yo, Justin Sun's getting a little bit of shine today.
Well,
he's getting like.
You know why?
I've heard rumors, but go ahead.
Well, so I mean, like the unpegging of Tether today.
Yeah.
Right. It was unpegged for what, like an hour?
An hour.
Or a couple hours?
By a penny or so.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was, well, there's some people thinking like, oh, is that, FTX dropping some of their USDT? Potentially. Also with...
Pull the mic in a little closer. Here.
Oh, gotcha.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. But essentially then with USDD as well, apparently, I think it was like 80% or 60% of the stable coins on FTX were supposed to be like a mixture of different stable coins, but it was like 80% USDD. And so it's like basically, yeah. Well, I mean, they've been leveraging, they've been doing all this stuff with Caroline,
Wait, what? Not 80% USDC, not even 80% Tether, 80% USDD.
Yeah. And
double damn it.
Yeah, there you go. And it's one of the easiest things to unpeg. It's way easier because it's low liquidity compared to other stable coins. And so essentially to prevent another domino fall, right, I think Sam and Justin Sun are working together a little bit on that.
Right. And I've said this in the past before. Justin Sun is a really good trader.
He's a good marketer. I'll give him that. I don't know about trader for sure, but I know for marketer, he's a damn good marketer.
Personally, I've seen him do a couple moves, and I've said this in previous Moongangs as well. I mean, there's some of my old. This is like a while back because like a lot of the news from Justin Sun was basically mostly in 2021 and 2020 where we're talking about him.
Well, anything moves. Recently, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of recently, nothing other than like moving money around. Like there was one big like he moved like $250 million in Ethereum around.
Yeah.
So there was that, but there's even some stuff about him selling. I think he sold most of his Ethereum at like $4,400 and stuff like that. So like he did a lot of these kind of good moves, but like he's been I'm just saying he's been really good at keeping his capital preserved and growing over time, and he's made some moves and stuff. But he's also kind of lagged behind in terms of developing his own chain. Like his chain.
Well.
I mean, let's be for real. Like because he had the jump because Tron was a coin that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
During the ICO boom, right? So you had kind of like the two big ones back then. I mean, the big three would have been like Cardano, Tron, EOS.
Right.
Where it would have been the big three, right? And obviously Tron and Cardano survived, and EOS it was just basically an exit liquidity scheme to get Bitcoin, basically, right?
Yep.
But it's a crazy little thing that the world's going on right now. So obviously, like we like Cardano. I think Cardano is going to do something this next cycle. It's looking like Tron might do something this cycle as well. And Well, we'll see what that something is.
Yeah, the Tron to me is no better than Bitcoin Cash. And I mean, that's not a bad thing. I guess it depends on how you see it, right?
Yeah.
But I would say it's going to be interesting to see kind of how Justin Sun works in the background with this FTX thing. That's going to be interesting. All the stuff the stuff on Celsius didn't really come out until what? 6 months after they started getting investigated properly.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of when Celsius really started having problems,
just more in terms of like when did everybody finally find out like really what was going on? And I think with FTX, it's going to be a while. So all this stuff, whatever's happening right now with Justin Sun and FTX and the regulators and all this stuff, right? It's going to stay relatively behind closed doors for a while, but then over the next like 3 months, it'll get dripped out, bit by bit to the general public through different news bites and stuff like this. But at the end of the day, it's just what I was going for more was like, okay, so stable coins are the next biggest, I hate the word, but systemic risk on the crypto
contagion.
market.
Contagion. That's the next. Everyone's using the word contagion now.
Yeah, I get it, but whatever. Anyways, so stable coins, right? So we got USDD, we got BUSD, we got USDT, we got USDC, and USDT has always kind of had the axe right over the back of its neck saying like, hey, it's going to, drop and it's going to lose its peg. Still hasn't, ever since 2017. And then we have essentially, I think BUSD is probably one of the safest of them.
Yeah.
Simply because you have the backing of the largest centralized entity in crypto.
Right.
That's pretty useful.
Yeah. I mean, and on top of that, just the DeFi money now, like, because he made it so public and like so. I'm a little annoyed I'm a little annoyed of a lot of YouTubers right now. There's some bigger YouTubers and stuff right now in the space, some medium-sized channels as well in the crypto space that are like VC cocksucking like maggots. Save myself.
So let's give some examples.
we will later I think a lot of these people eventually will kind of see past it, but like there was a lot of people like sucking the corporate dick basically, and you know, me and you never made any we've never taken money from anybody. We've always only promoted our own products. We haven't been paid to promote any coin or anything. We've never taken any money in terms of coin allocations or like equity equitizations and stuff like that. So anything that we've ever wanted or had is because we actually took our own money and invested into it. Right. So this is like we're like me and Charlie are like two YouTubers that are pretty free to talk about what we want to talk about in crypto because we don't have anyone controlling strings on us and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially the way we decided to grow was, well, if you can't shill yourself, what else could you shill? So, you know, have confidence in your own products, have confidence in your own services, bring those out to the market, try to create something new, bring something that's going to benefit the market. Right. One thing that, I mean, we saw here that, you know, a lot of people were doing in 2017 was basically using, you know, the market or social media portions of the market for exit liquidity. Right.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucked up. And so it was just like, hey, you know, the bar is so low here in crypto. It's like, hey, give honest information, give it how you think it is. You might be wrong sometimes, but if you're just like straight with people, you're going to have a good time. But it's like so many of these, you know, businesses out here just try to, you know, find the shadiest way to steal money from people. It's just not the way it needs to be done.
Right. And there's also, I mean, you have YouTube. So, I mean,
it's good for quick money, but it's not good for sustained growth.
Right. As well as, you know, like it like the most important thing is probably just your it's the integrity and as well as like, you know, the type of person you are in the space. And so some people don't don't care about that, and they're willing to do anything to get the dollar. Yeah, basically,
because they're just, you know,
or the USDT.
Yeah. Well, they're just trying to grab a bag and leave.
Right.
You know how many people? Because we've worked really hard to build the course, to build, you know, I mean, what we're doing here in the studio and everything like this, and so we've done all this, and it's slow growth. Yeah. Right. It's not fast. It's not quick money, but 90% of people that we've tried to collaborate with here in crypto, right? They're just here for that quick money. They're here for that passive income. They don't want to fucking lift a finger. Laziest people on earth to some extent. And I'm not saying that about everybody in the industry. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people who don't put in the extra effort to monetize themselves. They just are like, hey, what's the easiest money? Oh, this exchange said they're going to give me $30,000. Yeah. Sure. Let's take it.
Or this shitcoin launching on Pulse.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna name names, but yeah.
Right, and they try to bribe you. I mean, BitBoy, you know, gave his portfolio a few times, like what coins, you know, he had, which coins he received, all that stuff. And I mean, they give these people millions of dollars. And I mean, we've gotten the people coming up to us trying to bribe us on different things and stuff like that. We've just said no. And it's one of these things where it's like, it's so much easier. I think most people who are like in the YouTube game, they're not in it to try to give good information or to try to put their thoughts out there and try to affect the market positively and try to, you know, build this market. What they're just trying to do is they're just trying to be like, hey, I'm popular enough to get the quick buck. See you guys later. Peace. You know.
Yeah, and even the good ones who start, there's a lot of channels that start off good, like they're actually trying to be like teachers or they're trying to show people in the space, and then they're like they sell out. Yeah, their channel blows up really quickly, and boom, it's over basically from there and stuff. Because like the thing is too, like you'd be surprised, some of your favorite YouTubers are really broke. Yeah, as well. Like I was very shocked. I've talked to quite. I mean, a lot of them do have money as well, but like there are some bigger YouTuber channels. You'd be surprised. They do not have as much money as they. Some of them claim to have a lot of money, and the other ones are just like, you don't know. Yeah. But like I could tell. Yeah. You know, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is the sort of thing is like you do have to sort of figure out who you're getting your information from as well. You know. Yeah.
Well, it's just consistency over time, right? Right. Watch what the people's actions and what they do, and you know, listen to what they say, but then do your own research and think about it critically.
And Sloth, I was attacking you 100%. No, fuck with you, bro. No, Sloth is family. Sloth is family. But damn, Sloth, wow, why would you say that out loud? Jesus Christ, bro. But yeah, man, and thank Nellyville for the $9.99 super chat. Can't wait to meet my boy Charlie in the next Vegas meetup.
Yeah,
coming to a Vegas near you in Q1.
Yeah, there we go.
As well, let me just read one more super chat we got. Moon Pilled Rational Optics, $2 super chat. Charlie, put on the gauntlet and snap us to $500 ETH.
Well, sir, the best I can do is $750.
You guys, please, for the love of God, look at this. Ready? Dun 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 dun. There's 2 of them, bros. We're not sharing from the same cup, homies.
Oh, is that what they're...
Yeah, they were like... It literally looked for a second that we're drinking from the same Red Bull.
There are 2.
There is 2, sir.
I tried to put it over here on the left side. It's just so clumsy to get after.
Right. And oh, yeah. So Crypto Boogie's like, DCC, you sir are a poet. VC, cocksucking maggots, right? What I also meant by that is also like on the... There's also people just like sucking up to like the stock market and like stock market and those entities inside of equities. TradFi. Yeah, thank you. And you see, peanut butter and jelly. You see, but
just got to lay you up every once in a while.
Yeah, but TradFi basically, right? And I can really tell like some of these guys now. Their tune is changing. I'm seeing TradFi guys that have been in crypto that have put this face on of like, I'm a crypto guy, but they're TradFi in disguise.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary.
Michael Saylor.
Michael. Well, I mean, yeah. I give Michael Saylor the pass a little bit. Yeah,
because he's got so hard at the paint on it, you know.
I mean, he's a true degenerate. Shout out. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he doesn't even have. I mean, he would not even have this table. It's been sold for BTC and Sats.
TV, man. I mean, like, just got to go with the more expensive items in the room first.
Right. He's like
Blastoise for sure.
They ain't getting the Pepe clock. I don't give a fuck. Saylor, we fighting. You ain't taking the clock.
Even if I gave you half an Ethereum, bro.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't sell it.
No, really?
Nope, really.
I'd take the half of Ethereum. I could buy a new Pepe clock all day, every day.
But damn it, Charlie, made me lose my train of thought now. But so okay, yeah. So with these TradFi guys, right? And because they've gotten wrecked so hard, they've been pimped. Like FTX is really the first. Like I feel like it's like you're right. There was this whole gang warfare going on in like yo it's BlockFi gang. Fuck Celsius. Fuck it's like fuck your clique and this clique you came West Side. I mean literally it was like hit them up. In terms of like these TradFi companies, CFI companies in crypto,
yep.
And I mean, obviously, like I mean, we like Celsius and stuff. In terms of like percentage increase in terms of money, it was a coin that went up a lot. Right. Compared to the other tokens, they didn't really go up that much. They still did good in returns and stuff like that, but like it was nowhere near in the returns you could have gotten in that. So we were looking at it.
Might be a reason for that, after we found out about Mashinsky. Yeah.
Hey sir, selling the top. No, but regardless or not, right? So with Celsius, right? We thought Celsius was cool, right? And like then it ended up becoming this whole gang warfare where even people within the Celsius, people who really like Celsius, said Voyager sucks. This sucks. Nexo are a bunch of like cocaine crackheads.
Dude, the hate on Nexo from the Celsius community was always entertaining.
It was pretty bad, but I feel some of it was pretty well deserved as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. It wasn't undeserved. It was just one of these things that was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, and Miguel, don't lie. Charlie's legs work, or is he using his mind to levitate his wheelchair?
No, I'll do some cartwheels for you here.
But so with the like basically every CFI company kind of hit each other, and you could and that was like people on people. That was real DeFi users. Little shit throwing on Twitter, but it kept usually pretty cordial. But like they inside they kind of hate each other. Right now, here's where it got really weird. It seemed like industry leader, like you're saying that, no, these losers. Okay, let me say losers, right? These guys who were like promoting like BlockFi and stuff like that. There was this whole thing where like more of the bigger channels on crypto YouTube were backing BlockFi.
Well, yeah, that's just because they had big money and they had a lot of friends,
right,
in the space.
And it was a sort of thing where like if you were with BlockFi, then you would pretty much like the Winklevoss might talk to you a little bit,
Pomp might talk to you.
Pomp might, talk, and I don't think Pomp's a bad guy or anything like that.
No,
but
Pomp's great.
Pomp's a cool dude, but like, and he's got some great information. But it is a sort of thing where like there was this whole thing where like BlockFi is like the holy thing, and it really pissed me off. And it's the same people that like backed BlockFi were the same people that were like crazy FTX. As well.
That's true. Yeah.
Because like they were all like, it was almost like a New York clique or something.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, we want Wall Street to come and take over crypto, and we want like fast trading, we want low latency, all this shit. Yeah. But like FTX as a platform, I never liked it.
Yeah.
I just yeah, you can kind of tell. I don't know, like it just seemed kind of janking. And same with, I mean, most of the Solana blockchain.
Yeah,
but
and I feel like we were some of the first people to say Solana sucked. Really?
yeah, but I like I can't deny the gains.
No, okay, hey, gains. Yeah, you're right, gains. But then, so like
in terms of the tech versus we're in it for the tech.
we're in it for the tech.
Right.
Yeah,
The price alone, yeah, we were like, okay, price alone, it's great.
Yeah.
Right. Especially Solana itself. But then, you know, in terms of how the blockchain works, not so much.
Not so much. Yeah.
And so whatever. But anyways, yeah, if you go and you look at, I think of all the exchanges DeFi exchanges that I use, Solana was the only one that like, it was just bad. Like I think I tried to buy with USDT or USDC. I tried to buy some Solana there and try to trade it back and forth a few times. And like, bro, like it took like, you put in an order and like 10 minutes later, it would like tell you it cleared and it would finally show up in the wallet, shit like this. And I was just like, what the hell? And same with FTX as a exchange itself. It was always kind of like, didn't seem like a finished product. Whereas like Binance, you have like all these tools and everything, and even KuCoin. And so I don't know, there's just something about FTX that I never really liked it. And so, and then the other thing that happened was in the summer of last year, they shut down, like Binance gave you 2 or 3 months. They were like, hey, you can only take
with the US thing, right?
For KYC.
Yes.
So Binance was like, hey, you know, we've had your guys' accounts here for, well, if you've been with the company since 2017, you know, for a few years, you know, you have 2 or 3 months, and you know, we're basically got to KYC anybody in the United States. FTX did the same thing last summer. This is 2021. And but they said like basically effective immediately, like tomorrow. You can't access your account, or you have to take your stuff out like within a week. I think they gave like a week. It was somewhat. But that's
not a lot of time.
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, move all the money, get it off all real quick. Never touch this, you know, exchange again, and just leave.
Yeah, it's quite a. Yeah, it is quite an interesting sort of thing. Like I've always felt like Binance was more of a DeFi company. Like, well, this would be for real. Most people are using Binance in the ICO days and stuff like that to like actually trade into shit coins and like have non-KYC accounts and stuff like that. And then that went away. And I think when Binance, when that happened, that's really when FTX really started rising.
Right.
And then, and for some reason, so obviously, so even though we do make trades, this is something that you taught me actually, that the way you distinguish this was this. Trading is really like trading and investing are, depending on the difference between a lot of the differences between trading and investing is really just time frame. Right. Now, some things are more of an investment, like, you know what I mean? But
it depends on how
semantics.
you treat it as well.
Correct, right?
But you're essentially like an investment is just a long-term trade.
Right.
Yeah.
So typically me and Charlie, we make investments or a trade into something. It's 3 months to a year plus. Right. Now, the shortest term thing I'd ever get into, like if I'm going to put a little bit of money in there, it's like literally like it's either a small amount of money and like this is a scratch off ticket. Like let's see what happens. Or if it's a legitimate thing that I really like, I'm putting money in there for maybe a cachet drop of like an upgrade or a big news event cycle or something where you can actually make multiples or a good 50% move on your crypto.
Yeah, you're like, basically, I'm not in it for anything less than 50% on a pump.
Correct. Yeah. And then on top of that, I do have to like the overall product, because it's usually, if I'm doing this, most of the time, because I'm a true crypto degenerate here, and the thing is usually when I make those profits,
I can vouch for that.
So when I usually make these profits and stuff, I roll them back into the coin at a lower price, because I don't really like long-term holding something I don't like. Right now, there's always, I mean, it's just like spinning plates. I mean, like one night lay is one night lay, but you do want to, typically, this is the way we teach, is usually you want to get the stuff that if you did ever get stuck in something, you're like, well, I got stuck in something, but I really do like this project and it's a good time to hold it.
Right.
Great, right? Now, that's not most people.
No.
They're getting into anything, whatever the big trade is, that's a trade. And then a lot of people get stuck in it. And so me and Charlie moved with like deliberate steps, and it's a very planned action. Boom. Boom. Or like, I'm buying this now, not for the short term, because I'm gonna hold this for 2 years or a year plus, because I want the long-term capital gains on it. And I'm like buying Ethereum, at $1,000 or under $2,000.
Yeah.
Pretty good move. Buying a Bitcoin under 20 G's. Great move, right? Because how the hell in 2 or 3 years is that not going to be like at least at $50,000? It's and then on top, if you ever wanted to get out, like, oh, you know what, crypto's boring, I'm out. Long-term capital gains, you're paying less money anyway. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So these are like these smart dummy-proof moves that you can do that are really great. Now you have a lot of people on YouTube and on that what we consider classic traders,
right?
Which is like what would you what time, because you're really good at these time frames and stuff. What would you consider a classic trader being in terms of like their investment in something in a time frame?
So you're talking about like somebody who's day trading versus swing trading versus
like
long-term investment.
Yeah, well, what would you because like we're kind of investing / trading. Like it's more, we're heavier on the investing side than we are the trading side.
Well, yeah, I would say like what you were describing there, right, is the actions that you're taking, the intention, the research that you're doing on the coin is more like you're investing.
Yes.
But you're willing to go shorter time frames, like you're kind of swing trading.
Yeah, right. So we're like on the swing trade, long-term investment side, versus I feel like a lot of people on YouTube are like swing trading to like day trading.
Day trading to swing trading, exactly. Yeah, they're not really looking even at like an investment type trade, right? So like, and what I would categorize in terms of time frame is literally, I mean, people go down to the fucking minute chart, you know?
Oh shit, I was fucking spit out the Red Bull.
And it's just like, you know, you could get on, it's like the crack cocaine, right, of crypto. But
yeah,
I would say just if I were to keep it simple, you know, like daily time frame for day traders, right? Weekly, quarterly, yearly, and then so on, right? And then multi-year. But multi-year trades, you usually hear people doing that in like traditional markets. I mean, crypto, right? I mean, like, yeah, we've still only been around for what, 12 or 13 years basically. So, but anyways, so what I would say is, you know, where you're going to get in trouble in crypto, right, is if you're doing what most YouTubers will tell you, because they'll pull up their Bybit account, right, and they'll put $1 million on it, or they'll put $10,000 on it, and then they'll show you how much money they can make. And it's like, great. But like those types of moves are going to be coming to the market like quick. They're not going to be like sustained moves versus if you go and you're like, okay, I want a sustained move, something that's going to give me more than 50%, like we were saying before. Then you're just not going to get that with most content on YouTube, because you have to pay attention. You have to come back, right? Most YouTube, what they want you to do is that quick dopamine hit, right? So they're more focused on the clicks and the views and how to keep your attention than necessarily giving you good information. Because if I tell you, right, hey, I'm entering a trade on Hedron and I do a whole show on Hedron, right? Then I'm going to maybe tell you a month later with a whole show about Hedron, right? Hey, I took profits. This is how I did it. This is where I did it. Stuff like this, right? And I don't do that too often, but when I do it like that. But that makes you have to think that, oh, I have to come back to this show every day for the next 1 month.
Charlie, think hard. Thinking hard.
Actually using your brain, right? Oh my God. And like, but whereas most of these guys, they don't expect you to come back to the channel, or when they do, they only want you to have that quick move. So it's like, you sometimes get these longer streams that are like 8 hours of content of just watching somebody watch the charts and stuff like that. Good content some of the time, but the one that I like to watch the most, I haven't watched him for ages, but I probably should just pull him up here again for a good laugh tonight, is just Crypto Kirby.
Dude, I haven't heard that name in a minute, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, it's funny. It's like, anyways, I won't go into that too much. But anyways, if you watch somebody's show like him as well, like he'll go on different time frames. But yeah, you really have to watch for specifically what you're looking for on YouTube if you want to try to find good charting content and investing content. I would say, it's usually the guys who are just like willing to go deep into the information and like not just trying to get you to do the clicks, because you can tell by thumbnails and stuff like that too.
Right, and stuff like. But it's such a double-edged sword, because it's like you almost have to do like thumbnail stuff now, because YouTube has literally changed the algorithm in order to
you have to.
You have to now, and
like,
you guys click big titles and stuff. It's like it's kind of annoying. I wish I could just be like GCC episode 2, episode 3, you know.
Well, but I mean, it's a viewership centric audience. So I mean, it makes sense, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to have to tell you something in the title to make you want to click the video. I'm going to have to get you some sort of image that makes you, notice this video over other crypto videos. As long as I can do that, right? Then as soon as you get in, I try to tell you, hey, like I'm going to go slightly at a different angle than what the title may have led to, right? I try to do that type of thing. Right. That way, when people come in, they're like, oh, now I know what the deal is, right? And I can listen to this show. Whereas, I think some content creators, they take it where like, okay, if I got the person in here on that information, I have to deliver that information. They just say the most ridiculous shit, right? Like, here are the 10 coins that'll make you a millionaire tomorrow and shit like that. So
and it's pretty bad both on the fundamentals. The fundamental like I guess you would yeah, I guess you would have cloud the guys who do top 10 cryptos and here's why you should buy them. I guess that's technically under like FA YouTubers, I would guess.
Well, I guess you can get it from both sides.
Yeah, but I know there's shillers on both sides. And stuff, so it's like you have the guys who also show charts and stuff. So, and that's the one I feel like are more dangerous because the guys who do both charting and the fundamentals all in the same video were like, this is why I like it and this is the chart setup that I'm seeing. I'm like, because it's like not just setting up the move, but like it also traps in kind of the more of the middle of the curve sort of chart guys as well and stuff. And so it catches a way bigger net.
The chart is like the catnip. Right? It's just like, hey, you want some money? You like some money? Yeah, this is nice, right? And they're just, they're ready to get you interested. The charts really do. I mean, price doesn't lie. When you look at price and you see it, price going up or price going down, this gets you interested. It gets that monkey brain going, right? Yeah. And then they get you, with the marketing and the community later.
So Rusty Fuel with the $5 super chat. I missed the Japanese red-white Eiffel Tower. And Cam Jeffier with the, I think the Canadian $2.70. I need y'all on Fresh and Fit Mondays plus after hours.
Soon, sir.
Soon, sir. Soon. It's coming. Money Mondays is coming, you guys. I think we'll be on Fresh and Fit, this Friday, actually, right?
No, well, not this Friday. Next Friday.
Next Friday, I'm sorry, on the 18th. So we'll be over there in Miami, you guys, this next weekend and stuff. We'll be there the whole weekend, and we should be on Friday and I think Mondays as well.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. It'll be a fun time.
Definitely, man. I need to do that. So when we set up Charlie's studio here, man, we're gonna get the. I'm gonna find how to get the ambulance noise as you're gonna push the thing. It's
well, I was thinking like different things, to set up and everything, and definitely.
I'll show you the other studio in a minute too, as well. We have a whole different studio back there as well.
Oh no, it's a nice place. Yeah, been paying for it, for a bit, so better come and see it, right? But like, no, what do you call it? Get some Elliott Wave stuff going in here.
Elliott Wave.
Yeah. You gotta give homage, pay homage, right?
Oh, I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah. So that's kind of what we've been thinking and stuff in terms of like YouTubers and stuff like that, and kind of like, so I mean, it is a sort of crazy space. So like, you have the YouTube guys, but something that people don't really talk about too as well is like there's a whole other type of influencer that just doesn't get the shit. Like they don't really like get smacked up too much because it's on Twitter. You have these guys that are kind of big on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
that say terrible information and like get people secretly to FOMO. And so a lot of the guys,
Algorand. Yeah, I mean Algorand has a ton of those. I think Aptos had some of them on the last run around,
right.
And now it's searching down in the depths of the Mariana Trench. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel was simply just to be like, hey, what if I did the opposite? What if I actually gave good information? What would happen then?
Dun, dun, dun.
All of a sudden, good shit happens, right?
Yeah. I think someone earlier super chatted when Desert Cheeks.
Soon.
That's funny. That's hilarious, you guys. So there's all these Twitter guys too that I noticed usually the Twitter guys are mostly FA guys from what I see, and then you have
there's a ton of TA guys. I mean, Crypto Cred. I mean, technically.
Oh, right? He's awesome.
He's a TA guy, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the bad ones, not the good ones.
No. Well, yeah, we're gonna differentiate between the two, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You want to handle the TA guys? I'll do the FA guys.
Oh yeah, I mean we could talk specifics if we want to talk. Throw out names. Yeah. Sure.
Whoo, shit.
I don't know if there's anybody that I particularly don't like on crypto Twitter in terms of charts, but like I know the people that I do pay attention to. Right?
I like was it Trader Season? He's good.
Yeah. I haven't seen too much of his stuff, but like I mean I go back to like 2017. I mean Kobe, from Up Only, right? Oh, yeah. He's one of the guys that everybody's always following. I didn't even know him. Like when I saw him on YouTube, I'm like, "What? This guy's showing his face?"
Yeah, that was actually kind of a weird thing back in the day too, to show your face. Yeah, actually, yeah.
It was kind of faux pas in crypto. But anyways, I mean, yeah, there's just a bunch of guys. I think what was his name? Blunts. I forgot his full name, but
Yes, I think Blunt. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, what was his name? I can't remember. He's really good with Elliott Wave. Then there was Crypto Cred. There's Don Alt. There's a few of those guys that were pretty good back in 2017, 2018, 2019 who are giving consistently good information on the charts.
Now let me give you the best fundamental analysis. What's called Twitter guys ever. Bitlord, number one.
Oh, dude, Bitlord's the best for. I mean, you know, if you're not following him still, I mean, you're losing entertainment value for sure.
I feel like he keeps losing his Twitter. Because I've had to follow him multiple times.
Oh, really?
Just because he's lost his Twitter before.
Oh, I mean, I haven't had too much of an issue with that.
Yeah, but Bitlord's really funny and stuff, and like people think he joked around a couple times about like buying Dogecoin, and then like it just fucking rocketed. And this is the Elon before pre-Elon pump.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So it's pretty. He's amazing at trolling and stuff. That's kind of like
his best meme ever was having a cigarette in the hospital during the crash.
Yeah, yeah.
In March of 2020, that was great.
Or this whole thing where he accidentally lights his whole house on fire.
Oh shit! I gotta put good crypto memes, but yeah, I mean in terms of FA side, so I mean are we gonna go after the good, the bad, the ugly? I guess we're going after the good first. On the FA side, who's good on crypto Twitter?
Let me pull up some names. Give me 1 second. I'll pull up some names real quick.
Charlie, if you can close Switcher Studio and reopen it for me.
Oh sure.
Yeah, let me. Terms of some really good people. Trying to remember their names. Oh my god. You know, I like Kobe.
Kobe has some good information. I mean, Raul Paul. Right?
Raul Paul. Yeah, he has some great stuff as well.
Yep, for FA side.
Yeah, I've surprisingly actually there's another one too. Like Elio trades and sort. He's been like really proactive. I'm not falling for the calls, but he's really on the ball when it comes to news. So like I've been following like people like that just because if there's some people that I see like they're dropping news very quickly and stuff like that, it's like they're on the ball. That's a good person to kind of like maybe like follow and stuff just to see some stuff. But in terms of some you sometimes have to follow people for certain things and you remember why you did it and stuff like that. Be very proactive.
You literally have to go through your what do you call it, your Rolodex of people that you're following and be like, okay, what am I following this guy again for? There's like it's funny, like all the people as soon as like these different entities go down like Luna and Celsius and 3 Hours Capital, all of a sudden there's like whole swaths of people you are following for different reasons in crypto that are just like there's no point in following them anymore.
Yeah, I mean there is, and then what ends up happening, you have accounts where they're not really like keeping anything more up to date anymore. And they kind of fall off and they come back and you're like, what the hell is this person tweeting now? Yeah.
Or they change completely what they talk about. Like they got so wrecked in crypto, they don't talk about crypto anymore.
Right. We have a $10 super chat from Joseph. He said, thoughts on Elon monetizing Twitter, blue checks, and relationship with CZ investing $500 million. Other than Doge, what do you see Elon adopting BNB? Do you see BNB pump to ETH prices in the next bull market? I guess we just start with the first part. Like, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk monetizing Twitter?
Capitalism is still good.
Yep.
Sure. Great.
Yeah, man.
It makes the blue check mark less important, which kind of sucks, to be honest.
I guess it depends when you look at it, because it didn't seem like they changed too much of like, you pay $8 and you get the blue check mark. It seemed like only the pre-existing blue check marks had to pay.
Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was. I think a lot of people were confused, because they didn't say like...
it was like everybody.
Yeah, maybe they might come up with some purple one or something like that, where like you have that one and you're verified this is your account, and, and I think that'd be. But
you are a real person.
You are a real person, but the blue one might be still like this is you. You have to be an important person or in your field important, basically.
Can I get a Doge check mark if I have enough Dogecoin in my Twitter wallet?
I would.
Just saying, Elon. Just saying.
Just saying.
I would load up on some Doge just to fucking get a Doge checkmark on Twitter. Why not? Yeah.
It would have to be 1 million Doge, because if you have enough people, 1 million Doge, right? I mean, how much would that be? I think today's price like 80 grand or something. No. Yeah, something like maybe maybe like 70 grand or something. Like he would have to sit a lap, because what'll happen is you'll have all these influencers who have a lot of Doge to show off, like, oh, I'm a Doge guy, and they don't want to take it off because dude, people will do anything to keep status.
Yeah, I know.
Anything. Like people are so stupid. Like they think like you guys, you got to think right. if you're actually famous or you're actually somebody on Twitter and stuff like that, and you actually do have a blue check mark, and like I would say half the blue check marks people shouldn't have those blue check marks. Let's just be honest, right? But they do, right? They got grandfathered in, or somehow by hook or crook got it. Hey, more power to you. But you're going to pay that $8 because what? You're going to be a pleb and lose your blue check mark? You won't, because you'll be less important, and less important means I make less money, or people are not retweeting me, or
and I mean, if you got that blue check mark, you can't afford $8. Get the fuck out, pleb.
Right.
You know. So what's the next part of this question?
Yeah. So it's okay. So what do we think about CZ investing $500 million into Twitter?
The thing that I think was most interesting about that was the $500 million that Twitter didn't take from Sam Bankman-Fried. So Sam was originally going to give $500 million as well to Twitter to be part of that deal, and Elon said nope, and then like 5 days later took it from CZ. Yeah, I was like, this is beautiful.
Pretty nice. I think a lot of it had to do with I don't think Elon probably knew about the financials of FTX. I think it was more on the he was coming after. I mean, because
it's just who he wanted to be associated with.
Correct.
He was like, you gave how much money to the, I don't know, just
right.
The political stuff, all that.
The political stuff, and then probably more than likely as well. He probably heard down the pipeline what was going on with him, because like Elon is the wealthiest person in the world right now. I think still, or second wealthiest, and he. I bet you anything he has really great connections in government to know.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah, because
he's got a contract with this,
NASA
with NASA as a space agency. So yeah, I think he's pretty well set on that side.
And he only makes companies that have government subsidies anyway.
Exactly.
Right. So he knows the government pretty well. So I bet you he heard like how anti DeFi and like all this sort of thing. So I bet you Elon was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right. Where CZ was, pro DeFi, as well as like, holds a lot of Doge and is a lot of the trading volume on Doge and a lot of the coins that probably Elon does like. So it makes more sense, as well as like, plus the Saudis gave money to Twitter too.
Hey, everybody's giving money, take it, whatever. It's all good.
Right.
What's the next one here?
So other than Doge, what do you see Elon adopting besides adopting BNB? I'm sorry.
No. I mean, he's only going to be adopting Bitcoin and Doge. Yeah. The only other, he'll maybe give a small nod to Ethereum.
Yeah.
But other than that, he has no incentive to, do anything else with other cryptocurrencies unless he has like an alliance set up or something like that at some point. So, yeah, I don't see that.
Right. I mean, possibly, but I feel like Elon would then start this conversation with like burn the rest of the BNB if you don't use it as collateral.
Yeah, I mean, if they make something work, I'm all for it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I don't see Elon doing a lot of that type of stuff.
Right. Oh, that's true. I mean, but if you had told me before he talked about Doge that he loved Doge, I'd be shocked. I was slightly shocked. I mean, once I saw him memeing a little bit, we could have guessed it. But before that, like, you were like, what crypto do you think Elon likes? Probably not Doge, right?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Well,
because he even was chastising a lot of, like, he didn't like that, like he really pumped up Doge, and then from there he started shitting on Doge because he's like, there's too many like couple of whales that control too much supply as well. So it's
which is true. Yeah. But all he needs to do is FUD them in and out of it, and then take their money and I mean, he's pretty good at that. So yeah, I mean, Joseph is getting a lot out of this super chat. But
this is that's
a good super chat. But anyways, no, I think BNB is a good coin. It's gonna pump. Is it gonna do as well as ETH? It'll probably do a little bit less or a little bit more, about the same. It won't be too far off from ETH in the next bull run. So in terms of price levels, who the hell knows? But I've been gunning for that $1,000 BNB ever since 2019. So hey, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, at some point, yeah. I mean, BNB is kind of suffering kind of like law of big numbers a little bit, where like it's so big already that, I mean, it didn't even really crash down that much, and it would take something pretty significant. Like, I mean, there's so much confidence in Binance right now that there's probably not going to be a bank run, but if like, maybe if there was like a CZ Elon Musk like beef or something like that, it would have to be something very public to like for people to like ever like try to take all their money out of Binance or something. Like, it'd have to be something insane.
Well, and also Binance has different levers and systems to prevent you from doing that, that quickly and stuff like that. I don't know. If I was just thinking just now, like if I were to look at like some of the top cryptos and create an index, what would I create that would be like, okay, this is a no-fail crypto index. I mean, looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, obviously you'd have that in there. BNB.
Can you share Charlie's screen?
I was about to say, can you reopen
sure.
it one more time?
Yeah. Let me close that and then I'll reopen that. Yeah, I was just gonna look at the list, but I guess we can share it too. All right, it should be up.
Just minimize it.
Give me a sec here. It's connected. You do the admin.
Right, I do it that way. Yeah, you're right. We are live.
We are live, so make sure that you guys like the video. Miguel is coming in here with Charlie from Japan. Make sure you like. Oh, it's right here. Like the video right now.
There we go. Is it good now? Give you a second.
Right. Okay. So, KH with the, I have no idea what currency that is, but could you just explain more closely what would happen to the market if UST would go to zero? Oof, bad. Yeah. If Tether.
UST or USDT?
Tether.
Okay.
If Tether went to zero, not great. That would extremely affect international markets. Now, because the prices are all linked together and stuff, and liquidity pools and everything like that. With that going to zero, that would drive down the price of BTC and Ethereum to extremely low levels. Extremely low levels. You would have insolvency in a lot of you would have insolvency in a lot of I would call it international exchanges and stuff. I mean, even Binance would have some troubles and stuff. I mean, it would be very, very, very bad. Yeah, it would not be. It would not be a great. It would not be a great sort of thing if that happened. So that's why people were like freaking out about 1 penny off of Tether.
I would say people have been worrying about that on Tether since when? Maybe 2016.
Yeah, forever.
Almost since Tether came out, to be honest.
And I feel it's almost a jealousy because it's like, why do these guys get to print dollars?
Right.
We don't. Right. But if we're being honest, look, whatever they end up doing, from what I've seen, Tether has used if they ever did print money, they've used it to pump Bitcoin. And I'm okay with that. We're good to go. Okay, and I'm cool with that and stuff like that. So they've mostly used their power for good. Now, if we were seeing that they're printing dollars just to do fuck shit,
right?
I'm not seeing that at all. But it is a sort of the game where like a lot of people do trust Tether. It's been around forever. It's survived so many cycles. But that's one of the it's like the most known unknowns, right? It's a known it's a black swan that we all know about. That like if it did ever unpeg and it went to zero, like holy crap, that'd be bad, right? But it just is what it is. Like I don't expect something to happen with that until USDC is bigger. When USDC is bigger, then maybe then the U.S. government kind of comes out to Tether more and takes it down. But right now, it's like it'd be overall bad for the whole system.
Yeah, I would say if Tether's going to go down, it's going to be a government entity that takes it down. From the United States.
Yep.
And I'm sure they've tried already. So, they're doing pretty well actually.
Oh no, that's for sure. I mean, who's the dude that's trying to buy Celsius right now?
Oh, Simon Dixon.
Yeah, Simon Dixon's got his hands all over that.
Yeah.
Like now, okay, I like Simon Dixon, but he also like a lot of people like the way he like presents himself a lot of the time. He seems like he's not very powerful, and the dude's got connects like crazy.
Oh yeah, he's been in crypto since day one.
Right. Yeah.
But I was gonna go over here just in a second, like just some of the coins.
Sure.
I think there we go. That looks pretty nice.
Can you full screen it, please? Thank you.
That works too. So no, I was just because we were kind of jumping all over the place in the conversation, but the only thing I was going to say here was, it's kind of because we were talking about coins that essentially like they're going to stick around and they're going to do well because people are asking about BNB. Is it going to do well? Like, is it going to do well compared to ETH? All this stuff. If you wanted to create an index where you're like, okay, what coins would I put in there that I know are not going to fail or that are more than likely here to stay? And are going to give a different aspect to the basket of currencies, right? So I would say Bitcoin obviously is your number one. That's just kind of like your rock solid rudder in the boat. Then you got Ethereum, obviously, which is going to give you most of the gains that the market's going to do. It's not going to give you the crazy altcoin gains, but it's going to give you better gains than 90% of coins in the market. Then if I'm going with crypto, right, BNB after that. just because BNB sometimes does hold up way better than Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially in bear trends. So that will kind of like reduce the volatility, by crypto terms. And then besides that, like, like maybe you might say Matic right now because of the layer 2 stuff. But besides that, I wouldn't really be putting too much in there. And then I just put stable coins in there. I'd put probably Tether, USDC, and BUSD. And then just if, that was your main portfolio, I would say you could probably hold that for 5-10 years. You're not going to make the most gains in the market, but you're probably going to make steady Eddie gains. And then, you don't have to worry too much about what's happening in the market.
Definitely. Oh, and then, my God, man, like, what's it called? Dot's getting so cheap now. It's like at $5.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. I was like, damn, I hadn't seen $5 Dot in a minute.
$5.75, baby.
That's a pretty good little price right there, man.
Yeah, that's nice. Very nice.
Cardano's what, at 35 cents, I think? Yeah.
Yeah, 35-cent Cardano. It's $16, $17 Solana. So, yeah, things are getting cheap. I mean, let's take a quick look at the market. Before we do, is there anything you want to say about the good old Crypto Mindset course?
Can you full screen them again, dude?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, you guys. So Crypto Mindset Quarter 4 is coming out November 18th, and it's only on sale for 5 days, you guys, from November 18th to the 22nd at midnight at Pacific Standard Time. You have the time to get in. So leave your email right here. It's decision time, you guys. Leave your email right there. Hit click to sign up, and then when you do that, you will get notified when the course goes live, as well as other like live in-person events that we end up doing and stuff like that. So we're doing the Crypto Mindset meetup in Q1 next year. And if you want to get your spot, you would definitely want to be a part of the Citadel or be a part of the whatever newest Crypto Mindset course that we're in. It's going to be Q4. It's kind of, I guess we should really call it Crypto Mindset Q4 in 1, really. Yeah. Because like we've essentially lagged out the time a full month ahead of time in order to kind of like squish in between quarter 4 and Q1, so we can really catch this dip, because there's a lot of action. I mean, you just saw today, what's called BlockFi just went under, basically pausing withdrawals and stuff like that. So that is a pretty scary event, and we've been able to help a lot of our guys not get completely wrecked in this space and stuff. I can't say it for a lot of other groups. There's some other larger crypto groups that I heard that got caught pretty bad. Yeah. Very, very bad. The Luna one, our guys didn't take much of a licking at all on Luna and stuff, because we had sold it and told everyone to get the hell out of it months ahead of time. And then on top of that, like with FTX, not a dollar lost. Or what's it called? What's the newest one? BlockFi, not a dollar lost. I mean, all these sort of events have happened. We've been able to like help guide our people from like losing money or not having access to their funds. Now, coin prices can go down, but having complete loss of funds is like a terrible position to be in and stuff like that. And we tell people all the time, you only keep money in exchanges for a trade that's in a very short amount of time. Right. If it's not like a DCA you're trying to do, get your money off of that. Use a matcha or use 1 inch for like limit orders and stuff like that. Throughout all this debacle, on-chain trading has actually functioned and worked the entire time, and that's what we teach. We teach you how to be able to buy on-chain and stuff, unlike any other course in the world. So Crypto Mindset, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a lot of people who missed the window of the 18th to the 22nd. So put your best email address in here, click to sign up, and you'll be good to go once we get there. There's a lot of people who miss that. So you don't want to be here when we're starting webinars on the 30th, where you are not able to get in. So the other thing I wanted to mention here was just the market.
Yeah, please. Yeah, right? A full screen event. Thank you.
So yeah, man. I mean, the price coming down here just over the last 24 hours or whatever, or the last few days. Just how are you kind of looking at this? Because I think, by this dump, right, coming all the way down here, a lot of people were just like, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm finally getting some buys. I think there's some people mentioned the coins that they were jumping into. But then we bounced up here quite significantly. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, is the dip over? Right. I mean, what do you feel in terms of kind of where we're going in the market in terms of prices? To zero?
No. It is not over, you guys. Now, I am a perma bull, but I am the old bull at the top of the hill. And there's a lot of young bulls running down there to have one cow, and I'm having all the cows.
Oh yes.
Yes. I'm walking down there. And we had a lot of guys that still limit orders, and their hits, they got coins and stuff like that at really cheap prices. I mean, a lot of people picked up cheap Solana and are pretty happy with the price jump and stuff. Now, I'll come back to Solana in a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say Phantom and Solana right now. They're on the edge. You don't want to be touching them until they collapse. On price. Yeah.
Yeah, and Solana especially has a lot of systematic risk. Alameda still has coins.
Yeah.
Still has coins, you guys.
Yeah, but that's what do you call it? They what I think they had the $1 billion or the 49.6 million Solana coming out to be unstaked yesterday for the last 24 hours, but they basically delayed the epoch or whatever.
Oh, they better. I mean,
Well,
if not, that would have took it down to like what $3-4 plus.
Yeah, exactly. So that one's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Right. So when this started, I was very happy.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Charlie knows. I was like, I'm singing Christmas. I mean, it was. I was having the time of my life, and I owe it all to.
You hit a pretty good octave there, you know.
Yeah. Owe it all to FTX.
Not quite that. Not that one. All right. I shouldn't encourage you.
No. But no, I was having a really great time in the past couple of days because like all my guys, like soldiers and stuff, all the guys in the Citadel, all the guys in the crypto mindset courses, cash ready, didn't get funds stuck in there. We're ready to DCA and buy at great prices, and a lot of them got into great prices. Obviously, we gave recommendations of which coins we think were good coins, but at the same time, people had to pull the trigger. Yep. Right, and a lot of them were able to pull a trigger and profit right now and stuff like that. But I do see a little bit more downside risk because the contagions starting to go a little sideways, right? So we just now had BlockFi, who I was under the assumption BlockFi was already under. Like I didn't even know who the hell was using BlockFi still, but apparently I thought when Celsius went down, BlockFi went down as well, and apparently not. So
Pump's putting all his orders in there. That's all I hear.
Dang. Yeah, but it's that sort of thing now. So I think we will still get some more downside action. Now, one of the other reasons for why the market pumped a little bit is because the CPI numbers came out and they came out lower than expected, which is good.
Oh, I forgot to show that chart today on my show. I'm going to pull that up, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
The Cultivate Crypto Algo says some very interesting things about the U.S. Inflation rate.
Right. Well, I just wait to talk about the CPI once you have the numbers up then.
Yeah. But no, keep talking about it.
Right. So the CPI numbers came out lower than expected, which means that the inflation's starting to go down. The Fed destroying our net worth. It's starting to work, right? And this is causing people to spend less money, as well as it's destroying the wealth effect, like we've talked about during like my Fed stream and stuff.
Right.
Now, this caused the market to pump because the market's really dumb and thinks that now, the CPI is going down. Now we're going to get 50 or 25 basis point increases. No, sirs. We are going to get smacked with another 75 again. Because,
for sure.
Because they have said specifically, and if you haven't seen it, go in the links below and just watch my Federal Reserve review stream. In there, literally, Jerome Powell said we're willing to over tighten because if it's better to over tighten and go too much into the red line than letting it like doing nothing and then let the inflation become systemic, which is super dangerous. And what that means is if we don't control the inflation point, it will stay in the economy, and then we'll get a decade where we'll have super high inflation for a long time, and that will turn the dollar into the Turkish lira, which is very, very bad. Shout out Argentina. Now. But since they're going to over tighten, that means we're probably going to get 1 to 2 raises we shouldn't be getting. But Jerome Powell is going to do it.
Yep.
And that means we're probably getting 75, 75, 50, 50, 50, and then 25s, 25s, 25s. Right. Like that. And that'll take the rate. I mean, like 275 raises will take us to 5.5% increase. Because right now we're at 4% on the Fed's fund rate. Now, me and you borrow money at, it's going to be higher than that.
Right.
So it's on average, if you're trying to get a house, you're about mid 7s, maybe 8s and stuff. So with an extra 1.5% increase on the federal fund rate, we're literally talking about 10% housing. Interest rate on housing. Not great, you guys. From 3 to 10.
Yeah, I think the show that we did with me, you, and Mike on that, just running the numbers, was like one of the. I think it's a good show for people to go back and look at over the next calendar year. I think that one was called something like Elon Musk predicts the end of the recession or something like that.
Yeah. Because that was your show, right? That was your show in the morning.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Moongang that we just ended up doing on my channel. Just
randomly, right?
Yeah, because me and Mike were just all talking anyways.
Just happened not to sleep one night.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, going back to the CPI numbers, if you can share the screen here real quick. But there we go. the interesting thing about this in terms of where it comes across on the algo, and there's a couple of things that I'm looking at here going into 2023. So one of the things that you mentioned there, right, is that inflation is not beat, right? It's going down, but it's not going to, necessarily stop the interest rate hikes. We're probably going to receive them over the course of the next year anyways. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that's interesting, right, about this is that we basically had a sell signal here, right? What was that? That was 8.3. So we had to get a close below 8.3 in the last two. And we got one just below there, right, in the last print. And then we got this one, at 7.7 in the current one.
Yeah.
And so that there basically triggers the sell signal. And so, yeah, if we get the next one, which I think is December 14th, I think is when the next CPI number comes out. If it comes down here somewhere around like 6.75 or something like that, I think, you're probably going to see going into January, like this kind of come down a bit. And that's going to kind of soften the blow a little bit, or at least create these bounces in the market like we saw with Bitcoin today. They're not going to stop the downside, I don't think. But the other thing that we talked about on that show, right, was the weighting of the CPI changing. Instead of going back every 2 years, going back for a full year. That'll essentially make the inflation, we did the numbers on that with Mike on that show, that'll essentially make inflation look like it is beat. Right, and then interest rates still increase, but ever so slightly, and so therefore, the only thing that can bring down the markets next year is World War III and nukes, right? So, which ain't too far off. But generally speaking, that's kind of just something to pay attention to. But it's not going to be a huge factor in the market. I think more so, just looking at what's happening with the stock market and stuff like that's going to have a bigger impact on Bitcoin and everything. I'm probably just going to move back here to the daily. But yeah, I think I agree with you. Basically, we have more downside here in the next few days and coming down here. The one thing that I didn't show on my show today as well that was interesting is here, if we go over to look into Bitcoin.com, there's this MVRV score. And this essentially just tells you when Bitcoin is really, really cheap or overpriced. And so if it comes up the pink area here, it's overpriced, comes down to the green area, it's cheap. And this was interesting just in the most recent drop. If you just kind of zoom in here over the last couple of years, you can see the drop here today is basically brings us lower than this kind of mid dotted line point here, which is the lowest we've been, I think, since March of 2019, right, in terms of risk, and just on this specific metric, right? So this is telling us that Bitcoin, and then therefore by extension Ethereum, in my opinion, are the cheapest that they have been since before we took off in the last bull market, since March of 2019, right? Because we really started taking off from April when we went from 5,000 and then eventually 69,000. Right. So here, if we're kind of at the new 5,000 or 4,000 or whatever, right, which is 18K. Right, we did what, like a 15 plus X or whatever from 4,000 to 60 some thousand, right? And so you take that, you take a 10X from 18,000 on Bitcoin or whatever, and that's $180,000 Bitcoin right there.
Charlie, stop talking moon math. I'll hate it.
Just saying, this MVRV score has got me super bullish, because if you zoom in here even closer, right, it's just cheap, time to get it. And so, just generally speaking, everything's looking pretty good if you are somebody who's wanting to sweep it, buy the lows.
Yeah, we might end up giving war medals out to anyone who survived 2022, you guys.
Right? Yeah, 2022, 2023, yeah.
Sheesh. Sure. I mean, you gotta admit, like, it was like, what is that? Like, it was Luna, then Celsius. Like, it was just like back-to-back horrible news. And then now this is round two. We're starting to get that. The FTX one just really makes me laugh, because it's like, I mean, I would consider... The Luna one was more, I mean, I guess technically DeFi, it was a DeFi crash, really?
Yeah.
So the unlevering of DeFi, and then you had a bit of contagion with some of CeFi there. And this one was like, it was straight up like kind of a bitch slapping of like CeFi in the beginning. So we might end up getting a little bit of, but like the cool thing is something like a Phantom right now, or some of these other chains are just completely unlevered. There's really not much leverage anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
But you have gotten people taking bets and taking huge amounts of loans and stuff on certain tokens at these lows, trying to time the bottom. Right. Like FTX it looks like they were borrowing money on FTT token to then purchase other crypto companies and shore up capital and stuff like that. And then on top of that, it's been proven that they did send money to Alameda Research. Oof, not great. That's not great. That means they took user funds. They either took user funds use user funds to then borrow upon them on FTT, and then you use that money to then take that. So they may have used a debt as like an asset on to show no, your assets are still here. We just have something else. So instead of cash, we have U.S. Treasury. Literally, they could have done anything else with this money. I mean, if they did borrow user funds, they should have just bought like 1 year treasuries, or like they should have just bought something that paid instant cash. Like, I don't understand what the hell they're like, so dumb. Like, I mean, I was hearing rumors about like stocks. They had put money into stocks and stuff, and like at this point, I couldn't even say like that was false, because like to do that like stupid amounts of stuff was not cool. And as well as like with Sam Bankman-Fried, right? There's this whole thing about altruism. Have you heard of the whole thing he was talking about altruism?
Probably, I don't remember.
Yeah, so he had been pretty famous the last, like, I don't know, six months to a year of talking about like this whole thing he had been talking about, where like you basically want to be as cutthroat and ruthless as you can in business. So then later on, I will donate my money to charity, and I'll do good things with the cap. Basically, let me take money from all stupid people, and then me, because I'm such a great person, I can allocate this large amount of money and actually change the world. Right. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. It was such bull, and like who the fuck is this guy to decide that and stuff? And they never do and stuff like that. Like, like, let's just be for real. Most charities are a crock of shit. They're just basically vehicles in order to protect their assets from like taxes, and they always put their kids in charge of it. Which I sort of understand that a little bit. You want some family member to be in charge of the money, but like it's almost like you're gonna have we're gonna put like this $5, $10, $25 billion in this trust right here to then dole it out to like a couple of African kids maybe, and then in reality we're just growing the money and just living off of it basically. Yeah.
I mean, churches, charities, right? They built that way into the tax code for a certain reason, but I mean,
it really pissed me off, dude. I get so mad. I already didn't trust the guy already. Like, because it's just like, as soon as I saw what Alameda, and you guys know this, you guys have been watching me and Charlie for a long time. You knew how much I was shit talking Alameda Research forever. Yeah. Like, I did not like what they were doing. And now you know why.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's one of these things where it's like we knew they were going to make money.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like, okay, get on the different pumps basically that they're doing, but besides that, stay clear.
You got to think how much of like I can't even think of the word right now. I'm getting so irritated right now. But like how disingenuous they are to like so they were telling us they had donated $37+ million to the Biden administration to pass legislation in order to like kill DeFi.
Right.
And they were in every fucking shitcoin Ponzi and fucking DeFi farm this entire bull market. And we're the ones that pulled we're going to find out eventually when they investigate Alameda Research, because now the SEC is investigating Sam Bankman-Fried now. That's up today.
Yeah,
they're investigating them now. Yeah, because he made them look bad.
Yep.
He made them look very bad and stupid and stuff. And then and his mom's also in government too, if you didn't know that.
Yeah. I think I could pull up some interesting stuff on that if we wanted to go into that. But...
we definitely can, and we're actually gonna. I'll explain this in a minute, but this guy was basically telling us was getting rid of DeFi, but it was like he made all his money off the opium trade and then made opium illegal after he made all his money.
Right. Yeah. Annoying.
I sell the opium around here. Me, not him. He ain't cutting me out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just in it for the quick money. I mean, Sam, we got to look at where he learned how to do business and everything. Wall Street, yeah. Yeah, he just learned how to steal money from people.
I hope they throw this maggot in jail. And you know what? I'm afraid. I think he might have found a loophole by moving money to Alameda. I think he might be able to keep some of the money in Alameda.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Mashinsky, right? I mean, Mashinsky was pretty smart with the law stuff, and so he hasn't gotten a hair touched on his pretty little head. And then we got Sam. I mean, he's got lawyers.
Yeah, I will say this though: these New York jewels.
Yeah.
These New York jewels are real crafty. These New York jewels are very crafty at what.
Well, I mean, you got the money, you're going to get out.
Yeah.
So, and you're never going to go in.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I think it's Uniswap as well.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people in crypto that because they didn't like properly go with the U.S. regulations,
Right.
they can still basically get hammered down.
Yep. They got him by the neck. That's for sure. Yeah.
So you want to be careful. I mean, you got to self-custody at the end of the day. You can't trust these exchanges. So there's that. But I think just in general, it's be your own bank. I mean, at the end of the day, it just goes back to simple basics of crypto. Like if you're not your own bank, what are you here for?
Right. Man, dude, I'm feeling like Kanye today a little bit. I'm feeling like Kanye a little bit right now, man. I ain't gonna say too much, man. I ain't got the power like Kanye yet, but like, whoo, man, like he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Like the record execs and stuff are all jewelers. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean that whole argument you can go into for ages.
Ages,
ages, and it doesn't really, it's one of these things where at the end of the day, power, money.
Yeah.
I mean, follow the money, right? That's the simplest thing in the world is just follow the money. And what's gonna, what are you gonna lead to? I mean, Sam Bankman-Fried, all you have to do is basically follow the money, and just you're gonna find all the things that he did that were not correct, and he's still gonna get away with it because he has the money and he has the political connects. I mean, he paid what $250 million to the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not going to.
I don't think he did that much.
Yeah, it was that much.
250 million?
250 million to the Biden administration when they were being elected in 20.
Maybe I was just seeing the recent numbers then.
Yeah, the recent numbers was like 30 million.
Got you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So if you got the right friends, you got the right connections, you got the right money, I mean, of course, you're not going to pay the piper. But I mean, one of the things on Twitter, I forget who it was, but somebody said this recently. It's like these people who basically, Suzu, Kyle Davies, Alex Mashinsky, Sam Bankman-Fried, who else? Do Kwon,
yeah.
If none of these guys end up going to jail, I mean, somebody else is in on it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I thought that was a pretty good point made on Crypto Twitter recently. And it's like one of these things where if they do go to jail, right, you see which ones paid the right people.
Right.
And which ones didn't. So
I mean, right now it looks like Do Kwon's probably the least likely to get caught now at this point. Dude, he was on streams. And like
same with Suzu, right?
Yeah, and jail's not that bad, right? Lol, but
who was that? That was what's his face?
Martin
Shkreli, right?
Shkreli.
He was just like, oh, jail's not that bad. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't
it's
worry.
like I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a tad too much and stuff like that. But hey, one of my predictions came true. I said this guy Shkreli was going to come back one day and being big in crypto. He's starting to. Now that guy's super smart and stuff and everything like that. But he's kind of like sometimes is mean, very mean at times and stuff like that. So we'll see how
he's a meanie,
big old meanie and stuff, big old meanie. But I mean, like do we want more of these kind of cutthroat sort of motherfuckers in the space?
I was gonna think about reading this thing from Jesse Powell, but I think I'll just share it in the chat.
Sure.
But basically, Jesse Powell, the guy who runs Kraken, right? He had a really good Twitter thread that I'll just throw in the chat there for everybody who's watching here live. But go read that. I think it is important. I think Charles Hodgkinson mentioned something like this recently, which is just like, hey, we're going to create the industry that we want, right? And we have to have the right people in it, right? And he was basically, I think, a 13 or 14 tweet thread, basically just saying, get this shit out of crypto. So yeah, if you come over here, I think I put the tweet in the chat box or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's so many he's basically saying there's so many smart people in this industry who actually are trying to do things for crypto, for getting this new financial system out to the world. But then there's a lot of people who are coming for that quick buck for that bit of money, and it's going to create setbacks, right? And that's part of mass adoption. But I think this is just a really good description here of kind of a realignment of crypto. Like, do we really want Wall Street coming into crypto? Obviously, you're not going to be able to stop it. So then it's like, okay, if we're not going to be able to stop it, how do we slow them down? How do we keep, I think this defending of DeFi essentially, because having somebody like Sam come in and be like, okay, we're going to start legislating things out of DeFi, right? Getting somebody like that out of the market right now is absolutely vital when all this stuff is being created. So having people like Jesse, having people like CZ, who will, having people like, I think, Charles Hodgkinson, having these guys who are actually going to remember the core tenets of crypto and why it's here, both for mad gains, but also for the power of the technology. Having those people kind of realign the thought process here in crypto and what type of people we want in this industry might be enough of a wake up call to do that. But you're still going to get your Daniellis. You're still going to get your what was his guy's right hand man's name? What was that guy? I forgot.
Daniele?
Well, Daniele and
oh wait. You're not talking about not Sergey, but you're talking about what's
yes.
Yeah. You're talking about so many of these. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting the name now.
Quadriga X guy.
Yeah, Quadriga X guy, and then you also had like.
But anyways, you're gonna get more of those guys coming down the pike, no matter what. I mean, you're gonna get those types of psychopaths coming from Wall Street.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna have a lot of those guys coming for the money. Right, and greed is good, baby, and you're going to attract everybody in the world to this, and then you're going to have to. The system is going to have to figure out how to be built to weed that shit out, and I think it's kind of doing it by itself right now.
I feel like we got. I mean, it is doing it, but at the same time, it's also like we got
fast enough.
We got very lucky as well.
Yeah,
because in some other universe, like CZ never called out this FTX, and FTX got to re-Ponzi itself up and shore up its bank.
That was probably the one that had the campfire story. What was that one that we? What was with Sam Bankman-Fried taking over the world? Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, death from the tails. Yeah. It sounds like there is a lot of possibilities here. Now, I'll shout out to BitBoy, and like I really respect him for this. And like people have been clowning on even some guys like the CeFi guys and the kind of the fake crypto guys, I would call them, really, that have been shitting. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like BitBoy for some of the stuff he did in the past or stuff.
Well, I mean, he's done the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, he's kind of experienced it all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody's gonna end up making mistakes, whatever.
Yeah, it just is what it is. But I would never have doubted it for 1 minute that like BitBoy really like he has DeFi at heart.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
And he's actually trying to defend. Now, it's sort of like the Second Amendment. Like like I'll defend your right to say something, but do I have to agree with it? Like, no. You know what I mean? I don't want to. It's I'm not agreeing with everything, right? But at the same time, like,
we have to have an open debate.
We have to have an open debate, right? Where these people are by getting rid of DeFi, they're getting rid of your ability to transact your money privately and move it anywhere in the world at any time without any limits and stuff. And they want to put limits on stuff because they want to control you and they want to be middleman in between to make money off of you.
Yep.
Right. So. But he basically attacked a lot of these guys for Sam Bankman-Fried, and really it was one of the people that really started the domino.
What was it? It was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. We were just laughing at
him screaming,
screaming at Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, but it was legit,
Oh no, he was screaming at the bankless guy.
Oh yeah, but he was screaming at the bankless guy because of defending Sam Bankman-Fried.
Right, and he was right. BitBoy was right. BitBoy was right and stuff like that, and. It's just you have to show a little bit of respect. Like this is what I'm saying. It's like some of these guys really needed to get slapped in the freaking face a little bit, because it's like I was always looking. This is what my gut feeling always tell me about most of these guys is like I felt like they were traitors to the cause and stuff. Now we all can be in different coins. I mean, you don't have to like my coin, right? You don't have to like my coins and stuff like that. But we all know shit. Wouldn't it be cool to have this whole space where we all can make money? Right? Why are we trying to ruin this magical thing that makes everybody rich?
Because I want to be the most rich.
Yeah. How do I make the tallest building?
Yeah.
By taking everyone down.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So, BitBoy got better when he started losing weight. What? Yeah. I mean, hey, it just is what it is. But But there really was like some sort of like if we're talking like Thanos Club the multiverse, right? There really was a multiverse where Sam Bankman-Fried won and went. And to tell you the truth, it's not over yet. Like we still might get some regulation because out of this stuff. So, but at least it won't be to the nth degree. And now more people might have to be able to back, protecting DeFi a little bit. Now, obviously, most of the people in government right now are all boomers for the most part, and they don't really know anything about crypto. Let's just be honest; they really don't, like at all. They may understand. They may kind of get like, oh yeah, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. That's about it, if that. So putting something in place where it protects a lot of like these liberties and stuff now, and we don't know what we need to regulate in the future and stuff, is kind of how like there's going to be some regulation coming down the pipeline, and when those regulations are going to be put up into place, or like the draft of them coming out, people are going to be super bearish and negative, but then when they actually get passed, they're going to be softened quite significantly.
Right. Yeah, I'm just the regulation that I see coming out in the next year or two, right? It's like, okay, 2023 is going to be the core regulation at the beginning. So I'm thinking CFTC takes more of accountability than the SEC necessarily does if Ethereum gets, labeled as a commodity and not a security.
Right.
That would be huge. I think that'd be bigger than the ETF. And then we'd also have, some stable coin, like USDT, USDC, related regulations. And then maybe a couple DeFi KYC things. That's about it. And then 2024, that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because then we start getting the rollouts of the test nets for central bank digital currencies from most countries, right? And then, then you go into the 3 years of 2024 to 2027, which I think is slave versus free money, right? Which you're talking about there. Money that they want to control, money that they don't want you to keep private, money that they can basically turn on and turn off, versus absolute freedom, like just like the total opposites. And then, what are most people going to choose? They're going to learn because they have to through their stimmy checks, through getting paid the government crypto, the CBDC, central bank digital currency. But then they're going to be like, well, there is this Bitcoin thing, there's this DeFi thing, right? And so, like you said, as long as DeFi doesn't get over regulated in the United States, it's going to be a good time. But then I think it's not until like 2028 where you have the tipping point of essentially everybody being like, oh, right, this crypto thing is probably where it's at. And then you get the huge flood, mass adoption finally at that point. Because I think it's like a trickle in until then. And then it's just like...
It's a gush. Yeah. I mean, this next cycle, I feel like it really is a retail cycle. Yeah. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. But I think what ends this next cycle coming up and stuff is basically going to be, if I had to guess, it would basically be we hit overcapacity. Not overcapacity, forgive me. I mean, we have too many people in the space. It crowds it up, and then the networks start breaking down or not working. Like Ethereum will be super expensive and stuff. Now they are starting to make some improvements on ZK rollups and stuff on chain, so that's huge. If we get ZK rollups on Ethereum, that'll be awesome. But even when that happens, that only facilitates so many transactions. We get a lot of people on there. Like anytime there's extra capacity, there will be people to create more complex contracts or smart contracts that eventually fill it up. And even with like an FVM on Ethereum and then ZK rollups and stuff, so the FVM will get you more smart contracts per block, and then the ZK rollups will get you more transactions overall per block as well. So it turns like a CD into an MP3 CD, basically. With all that, you still would hit a point because everyone's like, wow, this seems amazing. And then enough people crowd in, it jams up finally.
Yeah. Well, the what this kind of reminds me of is Star Trek. So hold with me.
Pause. Okay, yeah. Hit a Pepe.
So... Good times. I forgot what I was going to say now.
You said something about Star Trek.
There we go. Now you got me back on track. So,
you got me back on track?
Back on track. Peace, live long and prosper. But so basically what we're going for here is, so we go back to the early days of computing, right?
Right.
So you go back to the earliest days, you had like this room would be full of like computers in order to just to have like a functioning computer, right?
Right.
Then you go to Star Trek in the 1970s, and they were like, Scotty, this whole ship runs on 1 gigabyte of memory or some bullshit like that, right?
Did they really say that?
Yeah. 110%. And then, then we have an iPhone, right? Which basically has like...
a terabyte.
Yeah, exactly. It's like way better than the Apollo lander, right? That landed on the moon. And so we're kind of in that phase of cryptocurrency right now where we have that throughput problem, right? Where it's like we have these computers that are like, massive, right? Filling the room of on-chain, right? It's all digital now. It's not like in a server or anything that. And that will solve itself, right? Eventually you get to this growth stage in crypto, and that might not be till the end of the decade, going into the next decade, but you'll have this innovation cycle in crypto where it's like, oh, maybe it's quantum computing. I don't know. Whatever it is, we're going to get some sort of innovation at some point, which will basically make that a thing of the past. So for right now and for the next retail cycle, that's important. The Band-Aids that you have on crypto up until that time are stuff like Matic, Layer 2s, essentially, and any other like Band-Aid solutions. Pulse Chain as well is a great solution, right, for people to kind of have an alternative to a similar type of chain, and they can do the same projects on that new area for cheaper and stuff like that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of different things in this next bull market competing for that space. But I think Matic already knows that, and they've just they're doing the smart thing, which I haven't seen in crypto for a while. You've seen so many coins that want to be the Ethereum killer, the Bitcoin killer, but they don't want to be the companion coin. They don't want to be the supporter coin. But Matic's like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And that was one of the smartest moves they could have made, because instead of being, that'll stick them in the top 20 coins basically forever. Yeah. Right.
They're basically the overcapacity to Ethereum right now.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like we've always said really good things about Matic personally, I have.
I am not so sure about that. I could go back and find some streams, but
I've said some horrible things about Polygon Matic, right? But because they've done some fuck shit in the past. But them doing all these kind of business deals with very large corporations has basically, because of that, people like are sheeple and they follow like, wow, Disney's on here, this company's on here, maybe I should and then they all jump in.
Yeah,
and that's what's going on. So Matic's become the most developed like L2 in all of crypto. And there's no L2 that compares to Matic,
right,
in terms of how much stuff is on there, as well as you just had Facebook essentially say that we're going to back Matic NFTs, which by saying Matic NFTs, what they're really saying, we're backing Ethereum NFTs on Matic through OpenSea.
Right.
Pretty huge. And then Solana NFTs. Oof. but that'll, and then I think they said Phantom Wallet, not Phantom the L1, but with all that sort of stuff right there, there's enough support there that this is one of the reasons why the Facebook news is really why Matic's pumping right now hard. Now all the fundamentals are already there, but it was that meta news that took it to the next level. Shout out to Facebook laying off 11,000 people, but and that probably has to do with Twitter as well. They're probably they're trying not to get like taken out by Twitter and stuff like, which is interesting, right? Now. That's why at some point, if Solana gets cheap enough, I will buy some Solana. But it's basically I'm basing that off that bet that they're supporting that, and then the NFT market does very well. Then that can actually support the ecosystem, which will be really cool and stuff. So interesting. I'm pretty sure Solana was involved with Disney too. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably something out there, but
maybe,
who knows?
Yeah, small project.
Yeah, maybe something. Shout out to Dragon Chain.
Yeah.
The park director, or like the I forgot what it was. It was like some guys that weren't even part of like any other. It was like at a park, not the actual.
It was just some like tangential connection. It's kind of like OMG working with McDonald's in Thailand in 2017. I was like, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, with a skateboard.
What was his name? June something of OMG. I know you had a great opinion. I'm joking. We won't go there. But I think just generally speaking, we know there's always, I think kind of the theme of what we're talking about here today is there's a lot of players in the game who play dirty, right? There's a lot of players in the game who are going to get like basically taken out of the market by their own greed. And then, it's going to get replenished with quality projects. And quality people. We've seen that in crypto time and time again. The shit gets taken out, the trash gets taken out, and the quality people stay. No matter what you think of somebody like Justin Sun, he ends up providing more value than he doesn't to crypto.
Yeah.
And so Arthur Hayes as well. Some people might be like, how could you say that? But if you go and listen to a lot of what Arthur Hayes says, he's teaching a lot of really good information to people, even though he may not have followed it all himself necessarily at the beginning. So it's one of these things where I'm super positive for the crypto market going forward. Price wise, in terms of the next couple of months, I'm not positive on it, but I'm positive on that because I want, it gives us a great time to buy for the next crypto mindset course.
And that's exactly why we have it at that point. Now, I want to mention one thing. There has been rumors that, BitMEX might come back.
Right. Well, BitMEX is already still technically as a brand still functioning.
Yeah.
But the question would be, would Arthur come back?
Let me say this right. Okay, I want to remind you guys of something. When Arthur was in charge of BitMEX, and it was the biggest trading exchange, I would say, right?
Leverage
exchange. The market was a lot more choppier backing
Yeah.
down. When he left,
Yeah, a lot less. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Short and long squeezes.
right? So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see him back in the saddle and stuff. Now he's obviously not yet, but who knows?
Yeah, I would say one of the more interesting streams with him recently was there's a bankless stream. If you go back maybe a month or two on their podcast, Arthur he was under house arrest. He's just sitting in his nice, it was a pretty nice house.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there. He's just dropping gems, bro. Just telling people how he sees the market and stuff like this. There's a lot of good information out of somebody like that. So if he could use his powers for good in crypto, at some point, guys like that, they have a lot of information that they can teach the market in a positive way. So, but yeah, you're always going to get shysters coming into this market no matter what. So coins, people, whatever, but they'll get taken out eventually if they don't shape up, in my opinion.
I think you're right, man. A lot of these equity guys who come from equities, there's a lot of psychopaths.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
That's the type. It's the type of person they recruit if you think about it.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works in crypto and stuff, but obviously because it's finance, right?
Yeah.
Of course. But the one kind of difference between equities and crypto is there's a lot more community building.
Right.
It's a lot. It's not as cutthroat really as equity. Maybe at some point it will get to that point.
I think it will.
Yeah. But as of what crypto is right now, this is what DeFi is and stuff like that. But it's really interesting. It's really interesting. I don't think people need to be I've tried to stop doing that too much. There's a big incentive for me and you to shit on other channels.
Yeah.
Because it's people want
drama.
People want drama. What Rollo calls it, red meat for the red pill.
Right.
Right. Red meat for the red pill of finance. Right. People want us to be out here talking shit about channels and oh, this guy sucks. Look at this guy. Oh, that's what he's telling his people. Oh my God, nice cock, bro. Like all these dumb things. But that's what people want because people want fucking drama, right?
Yep.
And we're just trying to give you guys good information, facts, and just trying. I've tried my best not to say people's names or just. There's some people I really don't agree with, and other people I really like. Oh my God, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
But it ends up because even if you're talking well about somebody, it could come off sounding bad somehow.
Yeah, sure.
It depends, because it is because you say because you could because it's impossible you can say 100% nice things about one person.
Well, right,
because they're gonna say something
perfect.
stupid. Yeah, nobody's perfect, and then all it takes because we're in this fucking goldfish zone where I say one thing out of context and it gets put on. Did you hear what Miguel said about you? Didn't hear all the other nice stuff, but one little thing.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck him. And then now we got Twitter beef. And now we got YouTube beef. And everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've experienced that with Hex, and it is what it is. But it's one of these things where it's people are going to do whatever. People are going to be stupid, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just okay, focus on making money, right? Focus on building and stuff. That was probably the best thing. At this point in the market last cycle, right, when we were end of 2018 going into 2019, there was a bunch of fear in the market, a lot of stuff like this. The best thing, the mantra that I listened to was CZ just saying build. Just build something useful in this space, right? That's all you really need to be doing right now. And it's first build something useful for yourself and then build something useful for others and, bring value to the market, and you're going to do well. You try to do any fuck shit, right? And you're gonna find out eventually. Just go to the meme on my show today. Go look at CZ. I think maybe it was yesterday or something like that. I can't remember, but CZ says if you fuck around enough, you will find out.
You will find out.
So the crypto karma, man, it's real shit.
Well, speaking of that, man, we actually wanted to show a little bit of another interview. And kind of right.
Yeah,
we might show. So we're going to show a little bit of another interview. There's an Up Only one where you had Up Only and Bankless talking about their thoughts and stuff, and it's really interesting because it's kind of you have more of a DeFi side versus more of a TradFi a little bit,
right?
In DeFi. Now, I actually like all these guys, right? So preface this with you guys. We actually like all the 4 members there.
Yeah.
So there's some things that they say that we don't agree with, and some parts that we do, obviously, right?
Yeah, you don't have to tiptoe around that. I'm going to say things here today that you know, a lot of people will not agree with, and I'm, you know, mention it in the comment section below. We'll talk about it. I mean, it's all good. You know, I think it's important for people, like you said before, to have these discussions of opinion and not worry so much. I mean, it's different when you're attacking somebody personally versus their opinions.
Right. I am getting to the point now where I'm just starting not to care anymore, and I'm just going to say what I want to say now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I get tired. I mean, I get tired of like these, because like these other guys. Now, I guess it's idea versus idea instead of the person.
Well, then I was going to say, then there's the fake shit, which is like, you know, when BitBoy yells at the guy from Bankless or whatever. Right. You know, part of that is a show for getting social clout. Right. Yes. And just getting social attention. Right. Right. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can engineer that for attention, for clicks, for views. Yeah. Right. But I would say that's taking it too far. I mean, everybody, you know, can see right through that. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's opinion. It all depends on who's viewing it. Like,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Right. But, well,
YouTube, right?
Yeah, with the YouTube game, right?
Well, the social media game.
But if we're being honest about that one, like a BitBoy wasn't attacking that guy. That guy was attacking.
Well, right, and I mean, anyway, you see the person who throws a second punch all the time first, right?
So, exactly. Yeah. So okay, I guess throw up the screen and like let's and away we go.
FTX right now
for $1. We can all buy FTX. That's no longer a problem.
That's true. $1.
It's only $1.
It's only $1.
Why are we so stressed out over $1? I don't understand.
You also might have to pay billions of dollars to make everyone whole, to pay their debts. Listen, on our stream, we got a corner on the bottom.
So this is up only, right? So this is like, I think one of the first times that they're doing like a kind of a group stream, basically. And at the top you have like, what was it, Bankless, and at the bottom we have up only, right? So we got more the crypto DJ. So we got Kobe in the black screen, which will show up in a minute, and then we have Ledger Live. He actually does a really interesting. He actually go watch his content. I like Ledger Live a lot. Like
he's solid information. Good Twitter as well.
Yeah, there's actually a running joke that he's extremely bad at trading. Like he shits on himself as well and stuff. The guy's really funny. Like I actually like Ledger a lot, but and Kobe as well and stuff. And but yeah, man. So the Bankless guys, I would call the guys, the two guys at the top. I would call them kind of Ethereum maxis. Basically,
kind of.
I mean,
definitely. Well, Ethereum maxis, but in a good way.
In a good way, yeah. I mean, like, it's such a weird thing to say.
Well,
like, because usually people are maxis about like what when you're Ethereum maxi, you're kind of a maximum like of the whole ecosystem,
right?
Yeah.
Well, what I would say is the Ethereum Foundation has some sort of link with the Bankless podcast, right? So they get a Vitalik on their channel all the time and stuff like this. So they're essentially incentivized to, promote Ethereum. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it is that. Yeah, that's true. Because if they were like, imagine this show was like they're like a Phantom only show or something like that.
Which is fine. I mean,
which is fine.
Actually, those shows pick up viewers faster because they're very specific. Right. So, but anyways, that's those guys. Yep.
Yeah. I just skip forward a little bit when like Kobe shows up and they can start talking about topics and stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
I literally just woke up. So.
Good morning.
DCC too.
Where did you leave things when you went to sleep?
Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. I haven't even looked at like what's happened since. Well, Binance had walked away.
Yep.
And like Sam still hadn't said anything. CZ had just tweeted the like I tried sad face thing.
Yeah, that's about it. I think the only thing that's come after that is like people have concluded that there's something like a $6 to $7 billion hole in FTX's balance sheet.
Nice.
Wait, I thought we were up to like 8 to 10.
And what was like 2 days ago? People thought it was maybe $1 billion. Like it was $1 billion to $2 billion.
Yeah. Yesterday it was like 6. Now it's 10. I told you yesterday when we were talking about that. I was just like, it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Damn, son, that's gonna be. Wow, man. People need to stop leaving money on exchanges, man. Holy crap. That must have been just like locked up Ethereum or something, or possibly they were leverage trading and borrowing money. I mean, it had to been something like.
Basically, what Alameda was doing was they were taking. I looked at a couple things today, but they were taking money from FTX, sending it over to Alameda. A lot of it through FTT token.
Right.
So essentially, just Chuck E. Cheese tokens, right? Free money. And eventually, once you saw that the Alameda side was too heavy in FTT, basically that was a canary in the coal mine that something was wrong because essentially they, over leveraged themselves and now they only got Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do we know?
Wall Street Journal said it was about 8, right? It was like could be as large as 8.
Could be as large as 8.
How did that happen? How do you get an
hole?
$8 billion hole in your balance sheet?
I mean, I don't know. If you're asking me how to lose money in crypto, I can tell you. And I mean, it seems like they just did fucked up stuff with customer deposits, right? Like they just either loaned them out or directionally traded them or like used them for their own personal reasons.
Do you think it was all Alameda? Because imagine, Alameda should have blown up along with A16 or 3O's Capital and the rest of them. Dude, but they got let's not invoke A16Z right now. But they didn't because FTX gave them a big ass buffer. They didn't give them like a multi-billion-dollar buffer. So like, would have FTX still have gone under without Alameda? Because I feel like that answer is almost yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is plausible, but I have to admit that I just like constantly reveal myself as naive in these things because like maybe they just gave them $8 billion, dude. Like we don't. Like they could just done that. They could have gone, oh, it'll be fine. They'll make it back. They were really great traders. They could have also had like a.
But that sounds ridiculous. But they did have a track record for trading really well and doing like whatever, like the Wall Street thing. Basically, we got to create like a verbiage for what type of person that is. Like maybe just call it I don't know. We'll come out with some kind of Moongang word or something like it. It was like, oh, he's like a Wall Street type or whatever the hell, and that's like, oh, a cutthroat dude. Got you. Okay. Yeah. But man, like it is the sort of thing where like they this is internally or as well as people who maybe did know the situation inside were like, let's lend them the money because they could get themselves out of the hole.
Right.
Yeah. Which, you can get yourself into more and more trouble.
Oh yeah. I mean, these types of people, right? If they don't get caught, right, it just gets worse.
Yeah. The chat saying wolf trader.
I like that.
A wolf trader. Yeah, we'll come up. We'll hold a little contest or something on Twitter or something like that. Just be like, what would be a really good because it's like
we have to usually when we come up with a good name for something, we gotta like brainstorm a few things first. Yeah. But anyways, no, I like that. Anyways.
Imagine if they got like a Bitcoin or Ethereum denominated hole when the prices were much lower. So let's say they had a missing like 100,000 ETH hole or something, but Ethereum was worth like $300 at the time. And they were like, okay, cool, we can plug this hole, no drama. And then suddenly Ethereum's worth $5,000. And in order to try and cover the hole, they've done stuff wrong and made it worse, perhaps. I can maybe buy that.
Pause it there.
But that means that they've
that's an interesting little theory.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a theory. So I mean, you got to think about who Kobe is and who he's connected to.
Right.
I mean, who was he interviewing quite frequently?
With the founder of Solana.
He's talking to the founder of Solana. I mean, he's talking to people who are influential in the space, right? I mean, Suzu responds to his tweets.
Right. I mean, he can get Shrelly, can get like literally gets Do Kwon, everybody. He's crypto. Basically, he's one of the more famous people in crypto. Basically.
Well, yeah. And so at the end of the day, he's saying that because he's heard that. I think. Yeah. It's not because he thinks maybe that's what happened, right? And then there's this quote from Suzu on Twitter, right? That kind of sounds a little similar. It says, if I had to guess, it was widely known Alameda had been internalizing, taking the other side of FTX client liquidations for years. 3 days of 99% sell-only liquidation flows from Luna 1 and many other coins likely would have opened up a large loss from giving themselves non-liquid on their own platform. So essentially, they basically got themselves stuck on one side. Right. So I was mentioning all those FTT tokens going to the Alameda side, right, as kind of IOUs, right, and then you get a few liquidations on the platform, and you're trying to back those up through Alameda and stuff like that. Eventually, it's kind of like a Chinese finger trap. You just get stuck.
So basically, what you're saying, they got very greedy, and they were like, let's just say everyone's long and there's not that much shorts. They would start shorting to fill up the other side, and then they would try to dump the price to get to like catch those shorts and make them in profit to basically take users' funds basically on their side.
Yeah, it's basically what he's insinuating here, right? They're all insinuating, they're not saying directly. So going back to what Kobe was saying, you marry some of these things up, you kind of read somewhere between the lines, and you probably get a good idea of what's going on.
So it's sort of like they were longing and shorting customer information, supposedly. Now we're all going supposedly here, right? Maybe, who knows, right? I don't know. Where normally something like a Citadel would be just taking a little bit of a they would make a stock a fraction of a penny more expensive, and they would take that's guaranteed money versus you're speculating on the other side and stuff, because they supposedly FTX makes about 10 million a day, give or take. That's what they were saying on like napkin math or whatever, that like FTX makes from just volume and trading and stuff from trades, as well as like regular people buying crypto, $10 million a day. That's a lot of cash, and they're now like longing and shorting the market. Kind of like that's what BitMEX was really famous for, and that's why they got in trouble for it, is that they know the entire play, like they know who's longing and who's shorting. So they're like, if we could wick it down $400 extra, we make 37 million today.
Yep,
let's do it. And what ended up happening is this is the trader mentality, or whatever we call it, the Wall Street trader mentality is the greed is good, right? And then like more than likely they probably just kept like trying to squeeze more and more out of it.
Yeah, which I think Kobe mentions it here in a little bit on the episode, which is funny. It's like, if you know the plays, how do you fucking lose money, right? It's because you start getting yourself in derivatives essentially, your IOUs, right? Once you start getting into owing money, essentially you get one step closer to a Ponzi scheme,
right?
And so that's what they're
and it's really hard for me now. I understand it like I understand it like financially, I understand what's going on, but in like to wrap it around in my brain, it's hard for me to understand, because I would never do any of these sort of things. Like, but that's saying like you're not in that position, right?
Right.
But if we're being honest, it's like you're squeezing so hard that lemon so hard that like we can't, like customers are only putting in this much money a day. We can't take any more money from them. How can we possibly squeeze more money out of this? Yeah. Let's go into derivatives and all. And then me and you almost have a rule about it. Like, we don't really play around with derivative tokens very often and stuff, because you end up getting a problem. Like something like a Lido, like with Lido. Speaking of Lido, one of the co-founders of Lido is Kobe.
Yep.
And the largest single holders of Ethereum is STETH. Which is wrapped Ethereum, basically, right? Which is part of Kobe. Interesting,
he put himself in a pretty good position.
Yeah, in the middle, because people have to come to him. He's basically almost like made himself sort of like a shadow broker, because so many people have to come to him for. Now, I don't know what their stance is on voting on DAOs and stuff like that, but that's a lot of Ethereum. That means you can vote a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah,
with that Ethereum. So it's really interesting situation. I don't think, but I do believe Kobe is. Doing a lot of good, is trying to like keep it like good and stuff.
Here's where it comes back down to, okay, fact or fraud, right? Is this guy actually, doing stuff for the crypto market, or is he not? Well, there's only one way to find out in crypto.
Yeah. Stay tuned, you guys, for the next episode.
4 years later, I think he's the type of guy though that, he's more like a CZ type, right? Which is, he's a businessman. He'll probably focus on, doing what's right for the business that he's working towards. But then at the same time, try to do well by the crypto market, but at the same time consolidating power. Right. It's a genius move. You're basically giving yourself, for Ethereum, as much power as the three largest centralized exchanges in the world in crypto by creating Lido. So that's smart. But I don't know if there's
there's more. Yeah. Let's just go.
They've been in trouble for like 18 plus months now.
Okay, but that's the thing, right? It's like, how did SBF get himself in this situation, right? Like, is this kind of a person who's a con man from the beginning? Do you think he began with this engine in mind, or do you think he's like a lot of people who kind of go down this path where it's a shortcut here to shortcut here? And gradually he kind of slips into the position that he's found himself in early November. Like, is he purely nefarious con man, or is this? I can't think he accidentally stumbled into like losing $8 billion. But is there an element of that?
I mean, man, I don't know. I
you pause it there.
Like, I watched the Theranos
It's like,
documentary thing recently, and it
did
seemed
he
like she
shoot
started
him in
with good intentions, and then
self-defense,
things just
or
like slipped.
was he a cold-blooded murderer? It's like pretty much what he's asking him there.
Yeah, because I see that, like, I think the two dudes that are kind of in most disbelief over this happening is like Ledger and this guy right here in the corner. What? Probably because they come more from, like, I feel like those two come a little more from traditional, and then went into crypto where like Kobe and the other guy were like kind of like DeFi natives, and then that's kind of, and there's nothing wrong because that actually does make a more interesting show because when you have people that come from two different spaces, you can view things a lot more differently and stuff. But like they obviously like I would say probably 3 out of 4 really did trust SPF a lot. I think Kobe liked FTX and stuff like that, but like, I mean, even he was pretty shocked at this whole thing. I mean, it is a shocking sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, Mashinsky was similar with Celsius. So I guess it just becomes, people that you have some relation with, you just don't want to believe it necessarily. Right. So again, a lot of these guys, they're not directly connected with these guys, but they essentially, have dealt with some business with them, and they don't want to. You never want to think that you're the one who got fooled. Right. And so if you got the wool pulled over your eyes, you want to be like, well, what did I not see? Was there something redeeming about this that, because otherwise you start kind of putting that blame on yourself a little bit, and you're like, maybe I'm not as good of a judge of character. But I think at the end of the day, especially going back to, the Wall Street types or whatever, going back to,
psychopaths,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman, shout out. But basically, then those types of guys, you're just never going to see them coming until it's too late.
Yeah.
So I think, I can see why they're trying to justify that.
Because they'll lie straight to your face.
Yeah.
Just like, and you won't be able to tell that they're lying to you and stuff. And there's also this whole thing of like, there's sort of like this love of like a person that's great on paper.
Right.
Which is like like I've been squeaky clean my whole life. But secretly, don't they know that I'm here to rip them off and take all their money? Like, there's a lot of that where like they need something like the brandable, like, oh, this guy's squeaky clean, perfect. But sometimes the most non squeaky clean people are some of the most honest people as well, which is crazy. So it's like it's sort of like there actually is really like good squeaky clean people that are honest, good people, but it's a spectrum, right? You get both sides, and it is like there's only so many people that have that squeaky clean record that are good people. And you start getting people that can hide it very well as well.
Yeah.
It's
And again, the finance industry is always going to attract
psychopaths.
Well, I mean, not just those types of people, but greedy people, right? People who will, who are moral in one industry but not so much in another.
Yeah. Oh, make money. Mashinsky had millions in FTX. They were all scamming each other.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of a round robin on that. Yeah.
Yeah. How many banks can you trust? Not many.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Away, and then at some point she turned and was like, I've got to be evil in order to keep this rolling. So maybe it was
with
that,
a fork,
but,
and then she chose the evil path.
I just don't it's impossible to know. Some people were telling me all this stuff had happened really recently. So Alameda had a big problem in September. And I don't know if you saw that. There was a tweet that said Sam, he was saying, we're rotating some wallets. And there was the $8 billion of FTT moved at the end of September. And he tweeted, oh, don't worry about it. We're just rotating some wallets. But
don't worry about it. It's okay.
This was the point when a bunch of the collateral was borrowed against, perhaps.
So near the top.
And in which case it's they were fine until really recently, and then almost instantly blew up. But I don't know. I find it easier to suspect that
be two-step.
It was.
So either he's saying that they either borrowed this September, which I kind of doubt. It sounded more like they borrowed on FTT at the top near November and stuff when we got $69,000 Bitcoin. So it would probably be a little bit before that.
That was there talking about September of 2021 or 2022.
They didn't really clarify.
Right.
It sounded like it sort of sounded like he was being a little, now we're speculating here, but it did sound like he was basically saying the people he was talking to was telling him it was way more recent, but but to get that big of a hole, FTT didn't go down enough.
No, they were doing it the whole bull market.
Right. So it seemed to me, it seems more likely that they borrowed near September of 2021 when the price was much higher. They borrowed on $8 billion, and then the whole got
I mean, it's the same story as Celsius, same story as 3 Arrows Capital. It's just hey, We never thought Bitcoin would go back to below 20K, so that was where our liquidations start happening. And we'll be able to defend it, and
Now to give a little bit of like kind of not air cover, but like I see what like Kobe means here by like they were just like big exchanges like Binance and stuff like that. They do sometimes move. They have to move a massive amount of coins around sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
And a lot of people are like, "What's going on?" So they had to say, "Hey, you guys, we're not doing anything. We're just moving from a different address." But they were moving it to a hilarious, right? But they were probably moving that to a different wallet and everything like that. But that's why it kind of like got like kind of covered up. And there's also a lot of transactions you don't see because they're on a centralized exchange, not DeFi. So like even though like shout out to all my on-chain analytics guys, but there's actually like even they admit that there's tons of stuff they can't see because it gets hidden within an exchange.
Yep. Which
is the tough part and stuff. So it's like all the DeFi, if it's on-chain DeFi stuff, then we can track it really easy. But if it's on an exchange, it gets muddied up very quickly, and you don't see as many of the moves in there because like the exchange has so much money that you can't the random amounts of money gets moved from wallets all the time. So you can't really figure it out.
Right.
So this is how usually they can get away with it. So anytime you see like if you a lot of the money that's been stolen in crypto usually gets like transported to exchanges overseas, because they're willing to play ball, and I bet you they get taxed as well and stuff. So the exchanges make a lot of money doing that.
It was fucked for a while, and then like the tide going out reveals that it was fucked. Like if it's fucked for a while and you try and like fix it, but like make it worse, and then the tide goes out and you're just not in control of that, maybe that makes sense. But I mean, who fucking knows, dude? Second, third biggest exchange?
There's another element here that I'm confused by, which is now they're talking about the FTX hole alone. So is lending money to Alameda part of the FTX hole, or is that the Alameda hole? Like who, you know what I mean? Because
it's kind of like chicken and egg
right
there.
Now, he's more or less talking about like, he's probably thinking is there more contagion with Alameda going down, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, did they just like, is the debt, where's the debt at? If they owe $8 billion FTX, let FTX go to zero. They still like, he may still cashed out with all that money.
Yeah.
In Alameda.
Right. I think FTX would hold the debt.
Yeah.
But only one way to find out. Yeah.
I just saw. I'd have to pull up the tweet later on, but like I did see that they had seen that there still is tons of money in coins in Alameda Research wallets still. So,
I think a lot of it's FTT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
If it's $8 billion, not even counting money they lent to Alameda, like they did other dumb. That's even dumber. That's like
That's what I was saying. It's not just Alameda. They would have gone under regardless of Alameda.
Yeah. If it was not just that what counterparty or what did they do with the money?
Well, they bailed out half of the industry when there was blood on the streets during
that was a $250 million line of credit.
Yeah.
Weren't they buying a lot of things?
But it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, so what he's saying here is like, how is it possible they have such an $8 billion plus hole? Like, and then the guys from like Bankless were saying like, well, maybe because we're like bailing out half of DeFi, but because they were still very public about which companies they ended up bailing out, it was only like $250 million. So it's like you would have to 16x. No, I'm sorry, it'd be more than that. Yeah, I mean, damn near like 32x the amount of purchases of bailing out companies to equal up to $8 billion.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think most of it is leverage.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I think they're pretty spot on. It's like whatever they did, they made a mistake. It got bad, and then they made it worse by trying to dig their way out of it through leverage.
I'll make it back on all-in-one trade, bro. and this is some of the funniest comments that I see. It's like these guys were supposed to be titans of industry, and they're just degenerate as us.
I mean, look at Suzu, look at Mashinsky, look at Sam Bankman-Fried. Not much difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, it shows you that smart money is not necessarily intelligent.
Right. Oof.
Billion worth.
You can't get $1 billion worth out of that. So if you're at $8 billion, then what the hell happened? When you're making $10 million a day or more, or whatever Kobe did the napkin math on based on trading fees, it doesn't make any sense. Like, and if that's the case, then there's got to be some like really serious fraud.
Maybe it was just really simple, and they went right. Okay, so we make low mid 8 figures a day. If we borrow $1 billion of customer deposits to YOLO into like his personal Robinhood stake or something.
Which
I'm going to buy Robinhood. It's good for like alignment of our companies, whatever. It actually only takes FTX however many days, like 3 or 4 months to re-earn that money. So like, what's the problem there? And you do it once and you like, cool, it works. We're now whole again. We actually just managed to accelerate our business because we use those customer deposits to achieve our business goals. And now those customer deposits are replenished. Maybe you do that a few times, trying to be like efficient with all the money that's available to you. And suddenly, like, you've done it one too many times and the tide goes out and there's a bank run. And like, like there was literally a gigantic bank run for this to even be like properly discovered. So they could have operated much closer to insolvent, like the insolvency line where they just don't have deposits left. If this didn't happen, it could have gone on for
Yeah, and this is like
So let's just ride the edge of that cliff, just for fun.
But this is taught. This is taught in Wall Street to run. Even investment bankers and stuff like do this and sort of stuff where like the banks run such a tight ship in terms of how much money they have levered out and borrowed that they're like, oh crap, we're actually, if we don't borrow $1 billion overnight on Monday morning, because they could be insolvent Saturday night and have to overnight borrow $1 billion, so make sure their balance sheet books come out as we have $1 in profit, or $1 in from liabilities to debt, and then they can say solvent, and then they can continue the Ponzi again and stuff like that. And this is why there was that whole thing with like, oh, we're not doing QE, you guys, we're doing overnight repo markets. Yeah, what's overnight repo markets? Well, it's basically the banks don't trust each other anymore because they're like, I don't know who has money anymore. And the Fed basically forced JP Morgan and all these other banks to like, you all have to take money because no bank wants to be the first one with their cards to go like, yeah, can I get $15 billion? And their stock would tank. So they forced JP Morgan and the big banks to grab money first. So everyone's like, oh no, the Fed's making everyone grab money.
Right. But the difference between this system and that system is that system, right? You can go negative, you can owe money, all this stuff, right? This system, essentially, when you get to zero, you're bankrupt.
Don't.
Right, you're done.
It's Monopoly.
Well, it's kind of like game over, right? It's like you're not going to go, write up more slips of paper like you can do in Monopoly. I mean, you can try to print your way out of it with FTT, right? Is what Sam Bankman-Fried's trying to do here. But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of crypto. Once you get zeroed out, like, I mean, he's trying to go beg for more money because he needs
money. He needs cash. Yeah. I forgot how much they raised. What's this like? I have to remember. There's so much news. I think they've raised a few billion.
Yeah,
actually.
It was a few billion. Yeah, it was like somewhere between 3 to 6.
So what Kobe's talking about here, in that previous statement where he's talking about like, they could have just grabbed $1 billion from customer funds. So it's like, so let's just say they have $10 billion. Now this is so bad to even say this, like holy crap. But it's like, imagine they had $15 billion in customer deposits. Well, let's borrow $1 billion in cash, buy some stuff, and then we'll pay it back. And that's like we're only borrowing like 8% of funds. Yeah. But like it seems if they did that a couple times, and that's also weird because it's like you almost got to think because Kobe knows a lot of stuff and everything like. Now this could be total like he's just kind of speculating, which I think he is. Yeah. But it probably did happen, and then on top of that, like they just went more degenerate. Like, wow, this is awesome, and then they use this as a turbocharge to keep growing the business, to keep up with Binance and all these other exchanges, right? FTX Arena, all the other stuff, and then I think they were in NASA F1 cars as well, and a bunch of other stuff as well and stuff like that. So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Wall Street probably leans towards Ponzi's way more than even crypto does. That's kind of very interesting.
I mean, the S&P 500. It's like 400 unprofitable companies. I mean, really. I mean, if you really look at it, they're zombie corporations, and they're essentially just checkbooks in order you take your stock and borrow on it. Like
levered.
I learned a surprise. I mean, whether we like it or not, like I learned a lot from like Alex Mashinsky, what he taught and stuff about banks, because he was spitting a lot. He
knew a lot of shit.
He knew a lot of stuff, but he was kind of like hinting at stuff. And a lot of the richest people in the world don't even have much cash. Even Elon doesn't have much cash. There's reason why there's the richest people in the world just borrow money, get into debt. Like Robert Kiyosaki tells everyone's game out and stuff. He's like, I don't pay taxes because all the money I spend is debt. Debt and insurance aren't taxed. Yep. Interesting, right?
Yes, and maybe they could have even ended up whole without us knowing, but probably not. Given,
But on top of that, they've been raising like crazy for the last year. They raised a ton of money at super high valuations, so they also lost that money too.
Yeah, it was like what, 2 billion in the last year.
Yeah.
They'd raised their actual capital raise was 2 billion.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that high.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Was
it's going off memory?
I think they've raised billions of dollars collectively.
Well, the one raise was like the meme raise that was 420,069,000 or something stupid.
Right.
But the I don't know what the cumulative was. Don't know what they spent the money on. I don't.
They at least BlockFi in a sports stadium. You can probably get to it.
Again, BlockFi is a line of credit, right? Like it was an option.
Oh, yeah. All right.
The stadium is paid annually, and it's probably 8 figures at most.
Just 8 figures.
a lot of the
did do a really big thing with TSM.
They did do a big thing with TSM. The Up Only podcast sponsorship wasn't that expensive.
No, here's the inside joke about them laughing about this is because the two guys on the right were and this is Up Only brought to you by FTX.
Yeah, well, before Blockfolio, but by contract, yeah, because I think they bought Blockfolio, right?
Yeah, they bought Blockfolio, so they're sponsored by FTX. And like, I'm not sure if it was this stream or the next stream they did before this, where like they were really embarrassed. Like, bros, like I feel like they were like,
well, they were
like,
they were like, oh, should I, put on the Binance logo?
yeah, put the Binance logo.
But yeah,
so much gold.
I don't understand where it went. So Sam apparently has 660 million of personal credit that he was filing bankruptcy for. Was that accurate? I don't even know what's real.
Was that real?
I heard that was
was
fake
like
news.
the fake.
Was that fake?
Yeah, I thought that was someone impersonating tier 10K or whatever.
Okay, so that was the tier 13 fake one.
Yeah.
So what about the other character in this whole thing, CZ? I mean, do you think he masterminded this from the very beginning? You think he was planning this? Was this like downfall of my competitor, like pure Machiavellian art of war shit, where he's just like trying to knock out SBF, trying to acquire the assets for cheap, and then like maybe now it just got out of hand, like it went too far. I mean, because I can't think that this feels good for Binance. It's certainly terrible for the industry. I don't know how far this sets us back. Like, I don't know, back to 2019, 2018, 2017.
I think that argument is no longer valid. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter today saying essentially that this has set us back to the Stone Age of crypto because nobody's going to trust crypto anymore. Blah 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 blah.
That's not TradFi shit.
Well, I mean, it's fun that it's so permeated into the consciousness of crypto that we believe it now, right? My opinion is that we've already gone so far in crypto adoption, NFTs, stable coins, eventually then leading into central bank digital currencies, as well as crypto itself through a couple of retail cycles, that people know what Dogecoin is, right? People know all this stuff. So, I don't think the general public is going to be like crypto even worse now. It's like, oh yeah, we expected that as crypto. Moving on.
I mean, like this whole thing is like the industry is so set back and everything. Like now they mean in terms because the only thing we've been set back is like people need a safe place to buy crypto with cash, and then from there they need to learn to like. This is why we do the crypto mindset courses, but people need to be able to take their money off the exchanges and then put it in their custody and control of their money. Now, this is why we do what we do with the courses, because we're teaching people, this is what we call ourselves like the red pill of finance, is we're teaching people how to take control of their money and their wealth and get some authority on their finances and stuff. And this whole thing of just crying about centralized exchanges, like, oh, this has set us back to the Stone Age. Like, no, we haven't, because these guys were obviously doing illegal shit.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, no, we've actually gone further. We've actually ascended up the Citadel.
It's kind of like, what do you call it? What's that word? Essentially just your immune system.
Yeah.
Right? The immune system of crypto has now gotten stronger because of this.
Yes.
Right? So, yes, we may be, sick or whatever right now. We may have a little bit of a disease, which is, centralized fuckery. But, the system is starting to clear that disease. Right?
And we actually have a really bullish event for real crypto users, and a little negative for the market actually. What is that event? It happens every January where it's like not your keys, not your coins.
Oh, right, just like proof of funds event.
Proof of funds. Yeah, there's like an event that happens every January where everyone's like, it's kind of a Twitter started thing and stuff where you basically just rug all exchanges and put it into your own wallet. But knowing how weak the market is right now, it actually might have a little effect in the market.
Oh, it have a strong effect in the market.
And this is what I'm saying. Even the guys from like Bankless and stuff like that are kind of waking up a little bit. Like, yeah, maybe we should just go all like DeFi. Of course we should. And I think they also really agree with, because they're Ethereum maximalists and stuff. But like, we should just develop the technologies to do on-chain trading, because you can't stop it. Now, like, this is the beautiful now. Remember what happened with Phantom? And like it was very highly levered. You had two big players, the guy from Tomb.finance, which was Harry Ye, and you had a really big Phantom. There's other whales, but like Phantom Whale, like Phantom King, very highly levered on a protocol of a ripoff. I mean, not a ripoff. Okay, a copy pasta of like Aave called Scream, right? And people over levered themselves on there. The price went down, and they got turbo nuked, and it cleared the system, and it over dumped Phantom. But now the whole ecosystem's unlevered, and it's now and now with the Andre came back, now all the coins started it all woke up again, right? But you do need this unlevering sometimes and stuff. But it happens very quickly, where like with centralized exchanges, this is where you get into problems where you can hide things, and you don't allow certain things to be seen in the books, and then you give fake confidence, and then when the stuff comes out, it ends up creating even a worse disaster than we should have gotten.
Well, this is kind of like ICOs, right? Lending. So the problem with the last bear market, right, was basically vaporware, right? A lot of promises, no real actual execution, right? And then essentially after that, right, we have borrowing and lending in crypto, right? We had that the last market, which was Salt, right? Which
Salt, Salt.
Yeah, and then you got Celsius, you got centralized exchanges doing this stuff, this market. Once you get that cleansed out, then the next bull market, right, we have another chance then to go into different types of derivatives in terms of stocks and different other things. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's like the chart. It's never going to be straight up and to the right. You're going to have some setbacks, but that's kind of expected along the way.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of I think you're right, and this is overall really good for the market.
Bad short term, good long term.
Right. It's sort of like taking the medicine. Yeah. I mean, we took the medicine without any sugar in it.
Right.
Yeah. And it's now the only one negative I could say with it is like the public opinion about crypto all the time is always negative. It's either like, oh my God, if I don't get in now, I'm gonna be poor forever, or it's like crypto, are you like that Ponzi thing, or like that thing that goes to zero? That stuff's for idiots, right? Like it's either one or the other, right? So the public opinion's always been whatever, but it's more of just like governmental now. Like this midterm pretty much came out a lot more even than a lot of people were expecting. That's why when like the midterm things came out, you had a big dump in the market because it was supposed to be a red wave, which would have been because usually they lower taxes and it's usually more business friendly, so it means stocks go up.
Yep.
And it ended up being a little more democratic as well, so they held on to more. So it wasn't a complete. It was kind of like a not a whitewash, but like instead of a red wave, it was more like a pink wave almost. Like it wasn't as like red of a wave as people thought. So it ended up being negative on the market. But the legislation was kind of like we're going to get some legislation pretty soon and stuff like that. And now because of this, the SEC is now investigating Sam Bankman-Fried, and that's not good.
Right.
Yeah, because that's going to make it tougher on exchanges and stuff. And we can get some very, not draconian, but very like kind of backward sort of like laws possibly coming out, and that will end up fighting, that'll flood the market a little longer.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the stuff that's going on in TradFi anyways with the S&P and everything is already, it's going to give us enough headwinds. It's like
regardless.
Yeah, it just gives us more time to accumulate.
So are you saying that like in terms of like, is it the dog wagging? Is it the dog or the tail wagging? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. The analogy. Sorry, 2 hours strong, you guys. I need more Red Bull.
Yeah, we're going to need to get you another can. But no, at the end of the day, I would say, you're going to get those actions regardless. So better to pull the Band-Aid off now.
Yeah.
I think the question is like, did CZ know the FTT weakness?
Yes.
In FTX and also Alameda, did they know when he started tweeting?
And what was his plan? Like,
Right.
did he want this to happen?
I don't think he. I mean,
I don't
he
think
thought he
wanted
was
this to
poking.
happen.
He thought he was poking a vulnerable bear, and he was poking a scarecrow that was rotten.
Sounds a great analogy.
I think that's right.
I think he wanted to like put them in line.
Yeah.
Like be like, look what we can do to the sentiment around your exchange. Like remember who's the boss type thing.
You get in line, boy.
And then accidentally exposed
A hollow
a
shell.
gigantic hole.
Yeah.
But like if he did actually mastermind this, like that's kind of crazy. That's like one.
That's a great question. So they're basically asking, did he's like, let me whip these guys and put them into place, and let me teach them a little lesson.
Yeah.
But probably didn't. Or do you think that like, no, let me take. He knew how bad it was, and he wanted to like sweep them out of the market, like because it could. I mean, there's a case
A little
for
bit
both
of
sides.
both.
Yeah,
There's
right?
going to be a little bit of both. I would say more just wanting to put him in place
Yeah.
than anything, not necessarily taking him out of the market. I think by CZ saying, "Hey, I'll buy
FTX.
FTX," and then being like, "I literally can't because I'll have the feds on me or something."
Yeah.
That's probably like a reflection of that. I would guess.
That is I'm giving more credence to like CZ actually like wanted to put him in place too, because he was going to buy them,
Right.
and then one day of looking at the books, he was like,
Half a day. Half a day.
Was it half a day? Really? Oh my god, half a day of looking at the books, and then was like, oh my god.
Yep.
And so I think they did have enough capital to buy them and pay the debt, but here's the problem: you put yourself into a position where then there could be running a bank on your thing.
Yep.
So you could be. So there's this whole thing of like, just because you have the money for it doesn't mean you have the money for it. Where like, if you let's just say to buy FTX to pay off the debt, let's just say it was like 12 billion. In order to really safely even attempt to do that, you need something like, I would say 36 billion in assets. You need almost 3 times the amount of buying that, because you never know like negative repercussions. The prices of your assets could go down, and then on top of that, if there's ever a run on Binance, they're like, holy crap, you may not even have enough cash on hand to like stop that. And then
The risk just isn't worth it.
It isn't worth it. And on top of that, there was already starting to be rumors that same day when Binance announced they were going to buy FTX. Loosely at the time, right? They were like, wow, now they own 85% of the entire market now. And that's when you get to like places where you're like that was where I think the Standard Oil in the early 1900s owned about 90% of all US production of oil. And at the time, the United States was the largest producer of oil and exporter of oil in the world at the time. So basically, they controlled probably like 70% of the global oil market. And they got split off into like into a lot of companies and stuff, and now you got ExxonMobil and stuff and all that other things. But very, very interesting. He probably just like, I just don't want the trouble anymore.
Yeah.
Like screw that. Like
I think those types of analogies are important in terms of where we gone historically, because we're building those crypto rails right now.
Yeah.
Right. And so watching kind of how all this plays out it's kind of like when if you go back and look at the history of Goldman Sachs, right? They were really not known until the 80s, until the investment banking stuff really took off, and it's kind of like, watching players in this space kind of just form out over first years, then decades, and then, longer than that. So
I will say we're living through history right now. This is like
Exactly.
this is incredible crypto history that's happening right now. And like, if you're making it past this and you're still here watching, man, like shout out to you guys. Hit the like button, man. This is really some of those incredible. This year has been quite like the amount of lessons, and just like it's kind of insane. Like this, like some of the, I almost felt like some of the stuff me and Charlie have been trying to teach for a long time has been viewed as almost like prude.
Yeah.
Like where we've been like, well, duh, like Miguel, this is not how you get rich and stuff like that. But like, our people have survived, and other people are zeroed out.
Yep.
Like straight up, our community is perfectly still here, intact, fine, growing, making money, buying the dips and stuff. Other communities are washed out, gone.
Yep.
In debt, zeroed out, brokies.
Yep. Not good.
Not great, right?
One of the most insane, like business chess moves that I guess I'll get to see it in real time in my life. But like,
maybe that's the thing. Maybe we never get to know.
I don't think
So
we
we always
I
have
don't
to.
think
We
get
always
know.
wonder. So we always live in the fear of CZ.
Oh, I don't know about CZ's side of it, but in terms of we'll know a lot about the FTX side of things.
Oh, big time.
Oh
Big
yeah.
time.
But yeah, the CZ side, that's up to CZ and BitBoy.
Yeah.
Someone should tweet at BitBoy. Get him to come on.
I really don't like that guy.
Whoa, really?
I mean, I really didn't like our guest yesterday either, so might as well.
Kobe, you've never directly interfaced with BitBoy, right?
I spoke to him for the first time ever. Do you remember when the lawsuit was happening with Atozi?
Yeah.
So when he was suing Atozi, and then I offered to fund Atozi.
Right.
Atozi's defense.
I
emailed.
think the Atozi guy. I kind of vaguely remember this. This guy was kind of coming after BitBoy, and it was like BitBoy sued him back with a defamation case.
Yeah. It was just as useful and interesting as the Hex lawsuit. It was like a $2,500 lawsuit. It's just stupid shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is why we say like it's just like why are people like you shouldn't be running your mouth on people like like obviously you can say like that guy, I don't like that guy, and that's it. But like there is this whole thing where like people just won't let it go and they keep harping. It's like, move on.
Yep, you gotta find out.
Well, that was ongoing before he'd like officially pulled out, saying like, just want you to know Atozi's in hospital right now. His wife's due date is like literally today. So like all this is happening at the time his child is being born. Like I will fund him unlimited.
So Kobe really asked a big favor out of BitBoy. Please don't sue him.
Here's why.
Like we're sorry. Yeah.
Like I don't think that you should do this. And then he sent me a very thoughtful response. And then we've emailed a couple of times since, maybe like 2 or 3 emails exchanged. The latest one, he just asked me like what I thought of the token promotion business model in general. Like, is it even redeemable? And I sent him like short essay about like how I think the token promotion business model is just like the only people that want the token promotions from YouTubers are people that want the price to go up in the short term. Like you never see like Aave going, we need to go to like crypto banter and get a like a token ad. Instead they just built something that worked. And so I sent him like a small like thing, like here's what I think on it. And then he made a video which was him basically reading out the email as though it was his own words. Which was I mean I thought it was pretty good that he did it and said like this stuff is bad, even though he did that stuff in the past and it owned up to all that stuff. But other than that, I've spoke to him maybe 3 times.
Okay, well that's more than us. So
yeah, I mean we just
didn't you have a full conversation with him for hours?
we had like an hour.
Other than that, hour and 20 minutes. We had one email and then we had the show with him. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I kind of understand him a lot more after that. Like I understand like, what he is doing in the space and like what his motivations are.
What is it?
I think BitBoy really likes attention.
I did not think it was going that direction. Wait, hold up. I thought it was gonna be more thoughtful. Like, actually, I think he's actually trying to do some cool stuff. He's like, nah, that fucker just wants attention. You see,
I think that
red meat, you guys,
motivates him in a way that, I don't know, maybe money motivates other people.
He has a background in like internet marketing, which I kind of makes sense. And I feel like he was like, oh, this crypto thing, I can do internet marketing via viral videos here. And then the ethical consequences of what the hell he was doing came up way, way later. And he was probably too far gone in terms of what type of monetization strategies existed. So I kind of understand how he got there, but I don't understand him per se, other than I see what you're saying about from an attention perspective. But
I don't know.
I can't connect with it, man. There's no
people just want to vilify people on social media. They don't like Kobe's actually looking at BitBoy as a human being.
Yeah,
being like people make mistakes, whatever. We'll deal with this. The interaction so far decent, where the other guys want to crucify him on a stake simply because that's what's popular,
right?
And it's like okay, you can play those games and everything like that, but at the end of the day, it's just like be real,
Yeah, I mean, and what they're talking about a little bit right now is kind of like. Now, okay, I can give BitBoy and some YouTube. Now, here we go. I'm a shill apologist now. So fuck. But now the thing is like, so we have to preface this as like, I get some time like dilation music or something like that. But like back in 2017, like you just it's monkey see, monkey do. And when you're a YouTuber, you more than likely didn't know any way to monetize a channel, and like everyone was basically like, how do I pop off on YouTube? Because most people who get into crypto YouTubing or anything like that, they're either trying to get money really quickly, or they're just trying to get. It's like, oh, it's a hot thing, so I can get a lot of views on it right now because it's hot. So let me talk about the newest shitcoin that could make you a ton of money in September, right? And then there's that's reviews. And then there's the second level. Once you've been doing that for a while, that tokens come up to you and people like, hey, show my project and I'll give you $15,000 and I'll give you like 0.5% of the coins. Done, son. And then they shill it out, and then their users buy it, and then they just go bloop. They market dump it, right? And I forgot what there's a recent YouTuber that got caught doing that.
It was Lark. I mean, Lark. I like Lark.
That was one of the good ones. Damn it.
Yeah, bro.
God damn, son.
Wasn't it?
Jeez.
It's like.
Shout out Zach BTC, right? Or whatever his name is. Like,
I mean, sometimes there's like, sometimes people need to be called out. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it goes too far, but it's what it is.
That broke my heart, bro. I didn't. In 2018, 2019, I watched a lot of Crypto Lark. You just really jogged my memory.
He has good information.
Like stack sats and chill. Like I like the whole thing of just what are we doing here? Just get your bag and stuff. Like, why are you freaking out about everything? It was a really calm mentality to have, and I appreciated the ambiance or whatever what he was preaching there.
His message.
Damn, son.
Well, here's the thing: is like he was trying to make excuses for it and everything, and it kind of made sense, but it's like, bro, just you're literally market dumping as soon as you get the coins.
Yeah.
Like, But anyways, so you get all these personal beefs between people in crypto, and it's like, again, when they meet in person,
right,
like, they probably actually have like a good time. Like, it's just like people need to meet each other in real life more.
I think this has been a poison that happened. Or a pandemic. But the pandemic Android 19 sort of event really it sped crypto along because everyone was forced to be at home, so more work got done on crypto. So it actually expanded the space. But because of what happened, less people met in person. Much less people.
Yeah.
So
we just met this week.
This week. Hey, Charlie live. I'm touching Charlie now.
Oh my god.
Wow, it's real.
Exactly.
Can you imagine we both roll out in wheelchairs the whole time?
Dude, go play basketball.
Yeah. But no, but it's a lot of the times people there's this thing in pickup artistry, right, where like a lot of the times girls are picking characters. So it's like, or there's certain archetypes and stuff where like, oh, the bad boy archetype, or like the pirate, or the vampire, that stuff, right? And sometimes people view people like, oh, he looks like a nice, nerdy, good dude with glasses. This guy's trustworthy. Or like, this guy wears a suit. He's honest. He's from these archetypes that people fall in love with. And sometimes you get a guy that just wears like a fucking a meme t-shirt and stuff, and flip flops and stuff, and is fat and is a great guy actually. But because he doesn't fit the stereotype, you judge a person really terribly, and you hold that person on a way shorter leash than you should be, and stuff like that. Where like that's and we're all guilty of it, because we're like, as humans, we are programmed to analyze information very quickly, because it's a travesty if you spend hours and hours with somebody and you still treat them bad because of like how they look like. I think that's really fucked. Now, if you just saw this person for like 5 minutes or like a lot of times, most people you will not have enough time to actually really like download a person and really learn who they are. So we do need these kind of abilities to like algorithms in our brain to like pattern recognize really quickly.
Yep.
But it's some fucked up shit if you like really like seen this person for a long time, and I'm guilty of it too, because like I've like listened to some of these guys before just to see what they're up to and stuff, and I've judged them a little bit, and I'm trying like it's really hard, dude. It really, and I'm really trying not to do that.
No, you got to do it on the internet. It's one of these things where it's like, are you looking at a 2D picture or a 3D picture, right? Eventually, you still need to figure out, you read between the lines essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so I think somebody mentioned it in the Red Pill that was correctly. It's just like personalities, within a space, they end up just, diffusing, or either that or exploding, right? One of the two. Like, it just is what it is on the internet. So,
just be careful who you listen to, you guys. It's that whole thing we talk about, like whatever you listen to, your brain will start going towards that.
Well, and think critically. I mean, this is what
Charlie, that's hard. What are you talking about?
For a lot of people, it seems to be the case. But it's one of these things where it's just like, I try to teach people how to think critically about, especially like charting information and different information they're getting here in crypto. And we talk about it in the course for sure. But yeah, nobody's purely good. Nobody's purely evil. There's always a mixture, right? And so it's just like, take that information, use it for what it is, but then understand, there's more layers to it than just meets the eye. And it's like, eventually it just becomes a stupid social game where it's like, okay, most people in crypto want me against BitBoy, so I'm going to be against BitBoy or vice versa or whatever. So a lot of the stuff that they talk about on that stuff is just bullshit anyway. So it's like, whatever, not really useful information.
Yep.
You should be able to look at those deals and recognize there's no winner with what he was doing with like the token promotions of like, shit jam token, like it just doesn't.
It's like like I agree with that. I think at the end of the day, I walked away from that and thinking that like, BitBoy is just kind of like a regular guy. Like he's not a devil. He's not an angel. He's just kind of he's just a regular guy. And one of his comments when we were talking to him was like, I just started creating content that my audience wanted.
Right.
And they wanted to hear about the latest like shitcoin that was going to moon overnight. And so that's what I gave them.
Surprise.
Yeah. And so he was like, what's the harm in that? There's demand for a product and I serve it up. Yeah. And like our point is just like,
that's a really big point right there. Where like having your audience dictate what you want to serve them. And so it's like, now I fell prey to this a little bit as well, like personally, because how do I say this? Like, I feel like all YouTubers, like, you have to placate your audience a bit. You have,
we talked about it with the thumbnails and the titles.
And the titles and stuff like that. And then sometimes, like, you play up, like, I hit a Pepe out of nowhere because people like that and stuff like that. So you have to do things to, like, really interest your group and stuff who's watching you. But then there's times where, like, the group has degeneracy. So it's like a mob rules, right? And sometimes the mob isn't thinking clearly and ask for things that they really is really bad for them, right?
Well, yeah.
I
mean, let the mob control things, and things are going to go very smoothly, right?
Now I get what he's saying here. Now it's like basically what like he's saying about BitBoy here is like at the time and stuff they were asking for basically give us the shittiest coins possible stuff because like and early as possible because we can get in these things early and then they can pump up like crazy, and that's what they wanted, and then you got a massive amount of views. So I'm just giving my customers and my people what they want, but sometimes you have to give them medicine instead of what they want, and they don't like. That's why we put the risk webinar is one of the first webinars we put. And we might implement this in the next course. Is that if you don't watch it, you ain't getting in.
Yeah, risk management necessary to continue on with the course eventually. Yeah,
right.
And I mean, I've always done that with my channel. Right, it's like there'll be certain content I know people want to see, and so I'll use that as like the headline or something to get people to click on the link. But then when they come in, I'll be like, okay, but you're gonna get the education while you're at it. It's a fine balance between teaching people and entertaining people. Educating and entertaining is a fine balance. So, but I mean, if the audience wants it, it's like, are you gonna stop them from, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, drinking alcohol? They're gonna find a way to do it eventually. So might as well serve it up to them. So I think there's somewhere in the middle that's
there's somewhere in the middle. But you also gotta be careful. Just because your whole crowd wants crack doesn't mean you should start selling crack. I mean, like there is a line there. There is a line. Not to,
just because they want it doesn't mean they should get it.
I ain't doing it. But I mean, this happened with me because like sometimes like originally who the hell was? I mean, it was a long time ago. I used to have my Dog Calls podcast back in the day, and then people would ask me for projections, and then I would tell them like, this is what I think could happen, reasonable and stuff, right? Like I said, like at the time, like, oh, you can buy a Celsius. I think if Celsius has $1 billion valuation, it hit $5, and it did. Yeah, that was a reasonable evaluation. Then people were so hyped up because they were making so much money that they were like, I was getting pressured I was getting and
peer pressured.
I got peer pressured into like basically, Miguel, give me moon math.
Yeah,
and all right, cool, but it got to the point where like every show was like, and I talked to Charlie about this, like, bro, I don't want to keep doing these shows where like they keep like all they're asking me is about fucking like, Miguel, give me the fucking crazy prices
Give
where
me the crack cocaine, baby.
Yo, Miguel, give me the prices. If Bitcoin hits $250,000, Miguel, this bull market, what's the price of my Aave? Or what's my price of this token? And then I told him, like, this is probably within a parameter. It will hit this if we get, and we always, but no one ever hears that part. If Bitcoin hits 130,000, if Bitcoin hits 250 grand, Ethereum will probably go this much, and everything according. Like, you're going to have winners and losers that don't track 80%. They track the market, and then ones overshoot the market, right? But they don't hear that. They hear like, whoa. Moon math said coin go this price and no hit this price. I'm mad.
Right. It goes to two things: a game of telephone, right, which is the message gets lost eventually.
Yeah.
But then also, I don't know the best analogy for it right now, but just essentially, hearing what you want to hear, right? So you get to hear what you want to hear, right? And I think it's okay to give that information to the market, give them what they want to hear to some extent. But yeah, you have to make what we've learned, right, through, because like I think a lot of people have not especially like instructed a large group of people to do something, much less through things like the internet, which is kind of like a little bit of a telephone game. So but what I learned on that is essentially you have to make it so blatantly clear, right, on the point that you really need them to focus on, that it's unmistakable, so they can't necessarily only hear what they want to hear. But in order to do that, you have to give them the medicine, the message they don't necessarily want to hear. And what I would rather do, right, is I would rather have less views, less subscribers on my YouTube, only have people who are really looking at the information as, they understand the message, and they end up looking at the information how it's supposed to be, having the right crypto mindset. And then those types of people, I can lead them towards a lot more success than just every average Joe, right? And so not everybody can have success in this market, I've learned, even though everybody has a chance, right? It's just it comes down to perseverance and a lot of other things at the same time. But it's not the tool that's bad, it's how people are wielding and using it, which is not properly. And the other thing that it comes down to is critical thinking. Again, people just not willing to do it, right? Hearing what they want to hear, not willing to do critical thinking, a lot of different things mix.
And this is why I have this in the beginning of my show all the time. At the end of the day, you are the one that pushes the green button and the red button.
Hey, and you're doing better than Sam Bankman-Fried right now. Hey. So, hey, win.
Definitely. Oh, this is funny. He's like, when did my shitcoin reach $10 trillion market cap? Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, but there's a difference between what people want and like what people need. And these are noobs, and you have like a responsibility if you have a platform of your size. I don't know. I'm hopeful he's getting some of that. He seemed actually he came on the episode and he was very
He's a different person.
Contrite, like chastened. Like I thought we were going to be in the octagon with like
baby.
WWF wrestler, and we weren't. He just came on and he apologized at one point.
Dude, okay, so the most interesting thing, Ryan, is like our chat right now is we have like 50% people who are like, BitBoy was right. He called out FTX.
Yeah.
BitBoy's awesome. And then the other half of the chat is like, BitBoy's a clown. Don't ever talk to him again. Why can you guys talk about something else?
He posted a video today where he was just like, zero remorse for the victims and all this.
Was this the one in his bathroom? He's like in a bathrobe or something.
He's like wearing his Gucci suit.
Shut up, Richard Hart, baby.
But he was. It's one thing to say like, "I told you so." This guy was a scammer. I knew it. I had proof. That's fine. But he claimed this like euphoric level victory, and there are no winners here. Yeah, BitBoy is not a winner here. CZ is not a winner here. CZ acknowledges that. I don't know what CZ actually feels, but his public stance on it was at least like fair. And
okay, pause right there. Now I know what he's trying to do. I know what he's trying to say, and you're right. Like if you look at, there's a bunch of people who lost their money, but there are winners and losers here.
Yeah, it's just the way the world works.
Right. I mean, BitBoy won. All these people. I mean, maybe not Kobe, but like maybe even Kobe too in private. Like all these people were basically like looking at him like a clown, but he was actually doing winning and won and got respect. I mean, to the point now they're talking about him and like not like in a joking manner.
Yeah, the best version of that during the bull market was when Anthony Pompliano was calling out BitBoy. And then on this type of stuff with thumbnails and all that type of stuff, BitBoy goes on a show, slaps him up a bit, and Anthony just quiet real quick. Yep. But it's one of these things where it's like he was trying to go for, Anthony Pompliano has said like, hey, I want to be the number one like podcast, so it just means I have to get the most subscribers, which I think is kind of a useless goal. I mean, I understand why, right? But it's like, it's not necessarily going to get you, the stuff that you're looking for. So, but it's one of these things where he tried to take a swing at him, right? And he defended himself because BitBoy, I mean, he's not a dummy. Yeah. He's got his whole thing set up in a certain way because he knows what he's doing. And, more power to him if he's going to try to bring some positive education into the crypto space. Yeah. You got different levels, I guess, of information people put out. But even if you're like giving the best crypto information out there, which I know, of course, that might be doing that, you're still going to get haters because there's going to be losers in the market no matter what. Like you can give them sometimes like a play on a silver platter and tell them exactly how to do it, and people are just not going to be able to execute it. And when I have consultations with people, sometimes I ask them like, hey, how come you didn't do this or that when we were doing this stuff? Is like, oh, I had to sleep. It's like, well, shout out No Sleep Gang.
No Sleep Gang.
So
the bags under my eyes.
It's one of these things where it's like, you're like, if you have the opportunity to make like $50,000 in a month, are you going to sleep 3 hours a night for 2 weeks? If not, then don't get into that play. But people are going to get into it, for a certain reason because they want to, they want to be doing it with everybody else. And so, there's all sorts of different situations where, it's impossible for BitBoy and anybody on these platforms to really know what's going on an individual basis with each person. So, it's kind of a chicken and the egg scenario. But yeah, should all content creators in crypto have some sort of try to take responsibility for what they say, of course, right? Yeah. But I mean, not everybody's going to be right all the time, especially when you're putting out tons of content. So. Right.
And then there's also this whole thing. There's this push that I'm trying to hopefully stop from happening. Is there's a push of like trying to get like crypto YouTubers to be prim and proper and be like professors and stuff like the guy with the glasses, not me, the other guy. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. Shit.
I was gonna say Sam, but no.
No. It's my bad, bro.
Ryan?
Is it Ryan? Maybe. Well,
I don't know.
The guy with glasses, you guys. But the guys with the glasses and stuff, he's like using these big thesaurus words. Well, because I use my brain would probably be his reaction, right? Of course, right? But that ain't fucking making your gains any bigger, is it?
Yep.
And then, well, it isn't all about games, or isn't it really?
Yep.
Isn't it really? Like this, I hate. This is the thing that like Richard Hart or a lot of the other people who like they've said like, I'm here for the tech. Really?
Yeah.
Really, sir? From a Western nation, you can still move your money around. You can zelly people around. Like crypto and Bitcoin, this shit's awesome, and it is self-control of your money and stuff. When things go down the shitter, it's nice to have crypto because you can move that money anywhere in the world and you're fine. But realistically, crypto really would serve someone in a third world nation or without banking services and stuff like. If you have access to, all you need is a cell phone or something. They don't have no, there actually is cell phones.
Yeah,
there is cell phones, and there is.
Look at Axie Infinity.
Yeah, mostly Filipinos playing. Yeah. It's what it is, right? Now, like it's just this whole thing where like a lot of people, like these guys who just try to talk all these big words and do all this shit. It's a sales tactic. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a sales tactic to basically show I'm super smart. Don't worry, like I know what I'm doing and stuff like that. You should listen to me because I'm the paramount of information and stuff like. And it's this whole like
I got all the connections.
Yeah, I got all the connections. I got this and that. And at the end of the day, there might be some dude speaking in Southern that doesn't sound so intelligent, but probably is saying one of the most like you could have a guy that with peak wisdom that doesn't sound smart. That probably should be the person you should be listening to more than likely for like that's a pretty even sort of thing to say versus someone saying this whole highfalutin, $5 words,
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, it's just like sometimes just being straight with people, letting them know the information exactly how it is, and not trying to put too many frills around it and all this stuff to make it, you just be clear cut to the point. That's the information. Let's go. And so I think there's a lot of people who just want to be right and not necessarily want to provide any value.
Right.
They just want to argue and all that stuff.
It just is what it is, man.
Reasoned, and BitBoy's emotions took over. The guy cannot control his emotions, and he cannot recognize the fact that they're victims based on these outcomes. The outcomes from his promotions. Oh, I swam down like the easiest, fastest lane with the strongest current that I could to make money. I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, okay, it's the same reason that Martin Shkreli pisses me off. The dude was like selling pills for $7.50 a pop because he could. It doesn't make it right. There's an ethical way to do business, and there's an unethical way to do business. And that's your choice that you have to live with as an individual. And swimming down the easy lane for max profits is, in my opinion, not
lazy.
Not a worthy choice.
But both people, all the people talking there are guilty of shilling stuff that went down as well. Like,
if you're in crypto, you're going to shill something eventually.
So like there is this I get what he's coming from, but like you can't stand on such a high moral high ground.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can't. You can't.
Because like
say
sponsored
your
by
shit doesn't stink.
like Up Only sponsored by FTX.
Yeah,
and they know it too. Like, damn, son, they weren't. And I know Ledger wasn't trying to do that. I know he wasn't. Like, of course, and I get it. Yeah.
Most people in this market, right, are trying to, like you said, do well by themselves.
Yeah.
Right, but then also, try to get through this market, unscathed or whatever. But it's not a clean scenario.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know that like you're gonna have some losers in the portfolio.
Yeah,
you just are. You ain't gonna always bat 1,000.
Well, this goes back to the joke that he said at the very beginning of the stream, which was, I know a lot of ways to lose money in the market.
Yeah, feel you on that one, bro.
Got to figure out all those ones first.
Rest in peace, VSP. Yeah.
The theme of 2022, perhaps, or at least all of those people who do that getting insolvent.
I don't think he went into token promotion business to like maliciously steal from a lot of people, but I think when you're making a lot of money doing a business model that's probably not great for your users, it's easy to not acknowledge that while the going's good, and maybe even lie to yourself and say like, actually, everyone's winning. The market's going up, everyone's kind of winning. Yeah, there's some losers, but we do good due diligence and we disclose and blah 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 blah. So like, whatever. The only comical really comical part of this for me is that like, if instead of having FTX as a sponsor for Up Only, we just shilled loads of shit coins and done like token promotions, a different fucking token every episode, we'd look better now than we currently do.
Yeah. I mean, you never know,
True
right?
enough. We look like shit right now. I'm not trying to say we don't.
But here's what's crazy is like, so you guys have had like one sponsor consistently. Bankless has had like many, like we have multiple sponsor slots, right?
A few handfuls.
And like, I'm just like saying to David, like we do our best to select our sponsor. And like,
and that's smart for them.
Clearly,
that's smart. And like,
I mean, we turned a ton of sponsors.
And they turned out, and they turned down a bunch of sponsors. Like I've seen the Bankless shows a couple times, and I don't know what show I saw that was really good. Damn it!
The one with Arthur Hayes was one of the better ones I've seen of them.
I haven't seen that one, but there was another one they did. Oh my god, it was so good. I was so shocked. I was like, wow, this is so awesome. But they choose good Ethereum projects and stuff like AlchemX and stuff like that, which is Rocket Pool and stuff like that. So it's like there is a line like, all right, if depending on what business model you do as a YouTuber or a content creator, like you do have to choose ones, but you're gonna take L's.
Yeah, well, you're never going to play this game perfectly. This is the mistake that I just see a lot of people making. They think business, they think finance, they think all this stuff is, you can do it 100% cleanly. You can't. Yeah. And it's not because you're not, for lack of effort of trying. It's mostly because it's just the way money works, right? And it's not your money. It's just your turn. Right?
Damn, that was based, bro.
I mean, look at taxes, bro. That teaches that lesson right fucking there.
Sorry, I got PTSD.
Right? And so it's like one of these things where it's like, it's good to go by moral principles and all that stuff, but you have to look at pragmatic reality at some point too. And I think Kobe's right. Like that's the route that Crypto Bander decided to take. Just go through so much. You're going to get tripped up by some shit anyway. So might as well just talk about all the degeneracy out there.
Yeah.
Or you can go the opposite route and try to play it clean, or you could just try to be real, which I think is what we do. So why don't you just try to look at the market the way it is. Don't try to look at it with rose-colored glasses. Don't also look at it with blood-colored glasses, saying that everything is evil and money is the root of all evil and all that stuff. So you got to find some balance there, the gray zone of what is good and what is not, in order to work well in this market as an individual, as a leader of people, or whatever. And so I think so many people, they look at it from a A/B perspective instead of like a 2D version instead of a 3D version. So they're playing checkers instead of chess. And so you just have to take the good with the bad, the ugly. And I knew this market at some point would bring us another 90% dump. Did that make me be like, hey, I'm not going to get involved with crypto because it dumps all the time?
Yeah.
No,
you came big up, big down.
Yeah.
But big down means big up. Yeah. Right. You want
it can go up 1,000%, can only go down to 99.99999%.
Right.
So I'll take those bets.
So I'm willing to take the medicine of what's called Sam getting washed out, because it's such a net. Well, the reason I was so happy the past days was because I was really worried about this, because it's like, damn, if this bill, that bill to get rid of DeFi is horrible, man. Dude, I'm so happy this guy got washed out. I'm not happy for I am not rejoicing. I'm never bro, you could ask Charlie this. I was very sad. We didn't, me, you, our guys, none of our guys took a licking or an L at all in Luna. And I was very sad because I didn't know another, there was this group that we knew that was a friends group who got really wrecked because they were really big in Luna and they were really big in some other coins and stuff. And I was it actually sapped the fun for me, because now the FTX people, that was far enough away from me that I don't have I don't have a person that came to me. I haven't had, if I had somebody in the course that told me my God, Miguel, I lost a ton, I lost everything, and I don't have a single person, thank God, Padre Hijo Espiritu Santo, amen. Yeah. But the Luna one, because it was more DeFi, that one I knew people that got really hurt on Luna, and I wasn't happy. I was very sad. I could have, because they were, that certain people in some groups and stuff were being extremely cunty to me. And you, Charlie,
I remember.
You remember, these, if there was any assholes who deserved to be whipped across in the country in the middle of the fucking city and stuff, for the travesties they did. I mean, they were calling us all kinds of things, DMs and messages and stuff like that, and then calling us out and everything like that for trying all these dumbasses. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're guiding all these people into the fucking slaughter and stuff. They don't understand Luna's going to be $5,000 one day, bro.
I know, bro. There is some definite Kool-Aid on the Luna stuff. I was telling people back last December and early January, hey, I'm getting out of Luna at $87 here. Not everything, but the original position plus profit, yada yada. That type of story or that type of experience from a person in the market comes down to what was I going to say exactly? Kind of comes down to them taking some personal self-responsibility, but then also seeing the details in the message, right? Because one of the things that we preach in the Crypto Mindset course is take your, de-risk, take your original out plus some profit. So that way, if it does go to zero, right, it doesn't matter, right? That opportunity cost, it still sucks, but you didn't lose any of your original principal, any money you put in the market, you actually made money, right? And so people who are willing to listen to the nuance of the message and not just listen to what they want to hear, but listen to what they need to hear. Right. Those types of people will do well, but it's always the people who cannot think critically, who cannot take that information in properly, who are always going to be like, no, bro, you just footed my bags and, screw you. And, those people can't be helped because they just drank so much Kool-Aid that, they're not going to listen to reason no matter how much you tell them.
Yeah. I mean, I just imagine it's a neighboring country who you've been fighting with forever, and they got hit with a natural disaster,
right?
And I mean, wrecked to the point where no, they went from a first world nation to third world poverty. And I mean, it was to the point where man, it's not even I'm not even gonna maybe that's my character and stuff like that or something like that. Not trying to jack myself off here, but I didn't want it just. I felt terrible for them, and I try to lend out a helping hand, but there's only so much you can do. You're like, damn.
Well, Sam Bankman-Fried tried to play the role of just giving them money, right? Which, I mean, it's just not going to work. So, the market, is made up of, a lot of different, human factors, which I think is, a lot of people are looking at it from a numbers-based thing, but you got to take the human account into factor as well. Right.
Yeah. So I see what Ledger means here and stuff with the human side and stuff. Because they would be more connected to the trader side as well as the guys using FTX to trade and stuff. So there probably was dudes 54, 130,000 $3,000 and stuff like that, and that's all the money they have.
Yep.
You know, so damn.
Sponsors away, right? Like, we're shady. Like, you're shady. We can't support that. But like, just law of numbers in crypto. I mean, you never know, and it doesn't have to be a crypto exchange hack. It could be just like
anything.
Somebody wrote some sloppy smart contract code.
Yeah.
There was like a bridge that was flawed. There was some kind of multi-sig that, you know, was an attack vector that we didn't realize. North Korea freaking attacked it. Like, who knows? And that is, it's just a lot of responsibility.
Well, it's the same thing as to like, why the hell are we in this industry in the first place? We're in this industry because it's an industry about money. So all sponsors are downstream of something of that nature. So there's no way out of that risk, no matter what.
Guys, the chat's blowing up about
yeah, we know
SBF
SBF retweeted Justin Sun. We know that that's true.
I've DM'd
Can
Justin.
you pass the tweet though? Is he saying we're figuring out a way to make Tron, whatever the rest of them are, blah blah blah, holders whole, or is he saying they're putting together a solution to create all of FTX relief, basically? Because he says, further to my announcement to stand behind all Tron token holders, Tron, BTT, JST, Sun, HT, holders on FTX, we are putting together a solution forward with FTX to initiate a pathway forward. So, like,
I don't know why.
Is he just saying, like, we're figuring out with them how to make our own bags good?
I don't know why SBF would retweet that if it was just about Tron and TRX. It only makes sense under the context that Tron and Justin Sun is helping FTX.
Does it? I don't.
But does it?
But does it?
I think
does it?
Just the pause there was good. But no, I think it goes back down to the USDD stable coin.
Yeah.
Not trying to get depegged. That's really the only thing Justin Sun's trying to do, I think, right there.
Instead of altruism, it's more like I need to save myself a little bit here.
Well, yeah, he's making sure his community doesn't get wrecked.
Yeah. So, but I think more than likely he means like anyone who had any Tron, I'm just gonna give you the Tron back and stuff and all.
Yeah, probably some of that too. I mean,
that's how it sounds like to me. But like I don't know. I don't have the tweet in front of me to see what like, the whole context.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, probably Justin Sun's gonna be like everyone gets their money back if it's actually gone here. But there's only so much of the exchange that's Tron really. So
and how much trading volume was actually happening in Tron?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think it's more about the stablecoin peg.
Yeah. So he's probably like, hey, let's do a good thing. Everyone keeps their money back from Tron. Cool. One interesting thing, though, if he could get the Chinese backing, because, Tron, Chinese money, it's possible that, like, watch they buy all of FTX, and then Justin Sun now is like... So if Justin Sun now leading a major exchange here in the States and stuff, and then that'll bring up whole rumors with, like, it'll be the next TikTok sort of thing with the U.S. and stuff, because...
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go that direction, to be honest, in terms of Justin Sun getting an exchange. I mean, anything's possible, but we'll see.
Hey, if it's cheap enough, man. If it's cheap enough.
I don't even know anymore with SBF, man.
I don't think Sam's got control of his Twitter account anymore.
You think
I think that is in the hands of crisis
company
management team. Yeah.
Crisis management.
Do y'all think
team?
Sam had an emergency escape hatch plan?
There's a
Project
rumor.
My
Rumors
question
are
is SBF on the run just like everyone else of 2022?
My wife,
It would be
my
on
wife
theme.
thinks this industry's freaking nuts. Like she thought
So
it-
does mine, Ledger. What? Like, she was just talking about this. So she's like, "Is it dead this time?"
Yeah, how are you guys' wives lately?
My wife thinks it's weird enough that y'all call me Ledger and that they call someone named Jordan Kobe, and like she's like, "What? Who? And why do y'all do that?" And then now I'm like, well, this guy is on the run, and he came on the podcast, and this guy you definitely know. My wife works in the medical
right there.
field, and she
That's
said,
You know what was really funny? Like, when we were interviewing John McAfee on the Tokyo Crypto Show a while back.
Yeah.
Or whatever. My brother was like, "Oh, hey, my brother's talking to a wanted fugitive." It's like these guys on the run that they're talking about, like Suzu and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I happened to interview that guy.
I kind of find it funny now that like the two married guys on the stream are conservative, more like, well, I guess whatever it is, like yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting because the two, like, I think Kobe's probably single, and so is the other guy in the corner. Interesting.
I was just gonna say, what is dead may never die.
Scarlett, and she's like, and she watched the show for the first time ever to see that clip. Yeah, it's like, it's mayhem. I ran into some people, "Hey, how you doing today?" And I'm like, I'm all right. Like my industry blew up a little bit over the last 72 hours. I got totally rugged in terms of what I thought was true and what was actually true.
Look, it's embarrassing.
It is. It's insane. Like, we live in absolute la-la land of total insanity where the stakes are billions of dollars that very few people can comprehend, even the people within the industry, apparently. Even the people that are supposed to be the leaders are freaking morons. Taking extraordinary risks. The same risks that Gainesy takes. You know? It's just saying that Gainesy's smarter than them. Like, I would put Kobe in charge of crypto. Like, just capital C, crypto country. Kobe can be in charge. And he's just a degenerate gambler that's been doing it since 2013 and survived. It's like this survivorship bias. So he's damn good at it. He's lived through all this out. And I'm like, put the guy in charge. Like, at least I don't think he's going to rug everything and steal it all.
The thing I find insane, I don't know if you read the multi-coin.
That's like the primary, right? Like, they're in the primary debate. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna announce my bid to run for president.
Yeah.
All right, CZ, watch out. Kobe's coming at you next.
It is kind of crazy these people get into control, but Charlie and Miguel are coming to take over control of the entire crypto market. It's happening. Enough cycles, man. We're gonna be running this bitch. I'm telling you. I mean, these guys are just keep washing themselves out. Yeah. You know, that's what's going to end up happening. And then a lot of them, like, I also feel like a lot of players also, they stay in the market, they're making tons of money, and they kind of walk away and then regret it years later. And then they're like playing catch up. Yeah. Stuff, because it is a game of, like, you're playing not hopscotch, but you're playing, like, jump rope and stuff, and you have to learn the rhythm so you don't get smacked by the rope. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a fun industry to be in. I don't know. When I'm watching this type of stuff, I'm like, yep, it's true. We're in a ridiculously crazy industry where, you know, money evaporates and then repopulates overnight. It's great. Money doesn't grow on trees, but it grows on miracle trees. And so therefore, we continue to ape. But, you know, it's one of these things where it's like we have the most plentiful industry almost in human history right at our fingertips. Right. And, you're going to try to take it for, you know, a quick trip, or you're going to try to, you know, make a quick cash and run out of this industry. It's like, no, do what CZ did, right? Bring in a bunch of value to the industry and then continue to build in the industry. And, you know, the wealth is just amazing, right? Build a coin, build a project, build a service, whatever it is. And, you know, that's what this industry actually needs is actionable stuff, right? Whether it's code, whether it's product services, whether it's an exchange. We just need stuff that fucking works. And that's all you really need to build to have success in crypto. And, you know, when you look at Mashinsky, when you look at Sam, when you look at Suzu, these are all just guys who they wanted to be number one from the beginning. Right. And, they found out.
Yeah, the bar set so low, it's just set to don't rug. Yeah.
Do good by your fellow man and don't rug.
And this has been like the philosophy me and Charlie have always followed of, like, don't rug, obviously, but like of like just creating products that people want and just helping the most amount of people possible. And and we saw we came together and we're like, wow, it's really tough to get started in crypto, man. It's not easy, as well as you don't really have a really good community, and you end up like making a community of like communities on Twitter and stuff where you're almost like a den of thieves or like these den of like traders and stuff, and it gets you like, we want to teach people good, honest, like these are really good best practices, principles and stuff to how to like traverse this market and just work through it and stuff. Because like, imagine being through this entire market, you're just by yourself, no information, nobody, just yourself.
Well, I can imagine that was basically our last cycle, our first cycle.
It wasn't easy, but we did it. But there's a lot of people that like that won't do it or get washed out.
99% of people will get washed out. Right, and then by us giving the information that we can give, only 80% of the people will be washed out. I think that's the difference that I've noticed in the course. Yeah. Just in terms of success, right? Because it takes persistence and a lot of different things. So 99% of people will be washed out of the market if they're just in it by themselves. But if they have a good group of people around them, you get an extra 18% of people surviving and thriving, and that eventually becomes pretty massive in crypto. But it's one of those things where those are not the numbers that I wanted. I wanted 100% of people to have success, but people, they choose not to some extent.
Yeah. Well, with that, you guys, we're gonna end the stream right here. Thank you so much for joining us. I will be streaming again Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Black Ice, basically a Red Pill YouTuber and stuff like that. Really cool dude. And I was joined today in studio by Charlie, man. Enter the Charlieverse.
It's going to be a little bit more of a common occurrence, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, and stuff like that. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff. I just want to give you guys a little heads up. We will be at Fresh and Fit Friday the 18th, as well as I think we're also going to do Money Mondays as well on I think that's the 21st.
Yep.
The 21st and stuff. So be on the lookout, you guys, man. And go follow Charlie. All the links are in the description box. Go follow the channel. Go follow my channel. Hit the subscription box. And don't forget to sign up for the Crypto Mindset course, you guys, man. It's going live November 18th. And, man, we're going to save you guys and from all the bullshit, man. Don't get fudded out, man. There's people out here that are just trying to get you to, like, feel sad. So you stop paying attention to the market so the prices go low enough. So they buy the lows, and then they'll hype you up and get you in.
Yep. And ETH has become deflationary as the price is dropping.
Yeah.
You know what that means. You know it's time to be paying attention and looking for some really, really good buys right now.
So with that, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and peace.